One man is being victimized by our own government. One man whom they fear, yet whom millions love. One man who is willing to take the poison arrows of lawfare. One man whose voice has been taken away by a corrupt judge operating in a corrupt system. One man who has been ridiculed and insulted. One man who refused to back down. One man who refused to back down. One man who refused to back down. One man who stands between us and them. One man that wants to see America protected again. One man who wants to see America prosper again. One man who understands that a man is a man and a woman is a woman. One man who understands and protects the blessing of life. One man who wants to restore American exceptionalism. One man who once again wants to make America that shining city on a hill for all to see. A place where all the people of the world glowingly set their eyes upon. America. One man who unashamedly wants to make America great again. That one man is Donald Trump.
Is Fanfare with Barry Cunningham.
I mean, there are three components to the coalition that Trump is facing off against, and all three of them see their very existence threatened by his candidacy. The first is, the actual deep state, the bureaucracies that control our country and have since at least November of 1963. And they're utterly vested in the current system, and they fear, above all, disclosure. In other words, they've committed a lot of crimes. We have the outline of some of those crimes, beginning with the murder of the president 60 years ago, but a lot subsequent to that. And, where did all the Ukraine money go? There's never been an audit. And so if Trump has declassification power, some of them risk going to jail, and they know that.
So what I want to show you guys tonight in Trump's final rally, probably ever, presidential rally. He may do some speeches once he's elected, but this is his final presidential rally ever. And so what exactly does Trump getting elected mean? We know all the stuff about the economy, but I think there's two other pillars, and actually just one big pillar that I want to discuss that's probably going to be destroyed, and they know they're going to be destroyed. And that's the media. The media decided, for whatever reason, to push all in with Kamala Harris. And the fact that they went in so hard with Kamala Harris, they basically did it without a net. They have destroyed themselves from within. They decided that they were going to be co-conspirators in a 8-year campaign to destroy this man, to do nothing but talk and talk and talk and push all the kinds of narratives. Yet they call themselves purveyors of truth. They try to say everybody like myself and like you, we are the misinformation, not them, when all they do is spew misinformation, and they're on to the next one. It just keeps going and going and going, hoping that something would stick. And it doesn't stick, because the guy didn't do anything. You went from basically all those lawsuits to porn star stuff, to telling people that his property wasn't worth any money, that he was broke, that he was bankrupt, that True Social was a scam, all of it. And now here we are at literally about the 12th hour. And if tomorrow goes the way that I think it's going to go, I wouldn't want to be in the mainstream media. I wouldn't want to be CNN. I wouldn't want to be NBC. Definitely wouldn't want to be MSNBC. I wouldn't even want to be Fox. Trump gets in and has control of the FCC. Forget about putting people in jail. The media as you know it today is done. Absolutely toast. And they should be. There should be an extreme regulatory crampdown, slapdown, bitch slap against the media. They have done whatever they could for whatever they wanted. They've doxed people. I remember when they doxed this old lady. They've done everything humanly possible to make life hell for Republicans and conservatives. Well, certain Republicans and conservatives. And now your comeuppance is staring you in the face. Your very existence is staring you in the face tomorrow evening. And you don't know what to do. These are some really big corporations, and Trump is already suing CBS. He made NBC crawl on their knees and give him free time for what they did with SNL. He's fighting back. He's swinging at these people. They know that everything that they've stood for is trashed, just broken apart. They're watching guys like Tucker Carlson who, you know, they all laughed when he got fired from Fox, and now he's much bigger than them. Obviously, with what happened tonight with Joe Rogan endorsing Trump, you got a guy who doesn't need the media either. You got Elon Musk, who owns X, who can basically flip a switch and reach tens and hundreds of millions, if not billions of people. Think about how that neuters the mainstream media. Think about how Elon Musk, with one flip of the switch, he could invite Trump over and do his inaugural address on X. I don't even need to set up all this stuff in the mall. I don't need to do all that. Hey, let's get together. Yeah, let's go. You ready? Let's do this. Let's just talk to the people. I can't even imagine what the White House press corps would be like. You're like, no, we don't need to have these press conferences. If I need to say something, whoever my new press secretary is, she can flip a switch from whatever office she's going to be sitting in, and she can talk to whoever she wants. She can just do it on Zoom. I don't need you people anymore. So that tomorrow, to me, is one of the big things to watch for. Watch how they freak out, because they know what's coming. And this is what Tucker is actually talking about. This is what a couple people are talking about here.
That's the first part. The second part of the coalition is business. And that's simply a function of the size of the federal government. It's the largest human organization in history. It has the most money. And there are businesses, particularly in the finance sector, that are totally dependent on this system in order to get rich. I mean, if you're Larry Fink or anybody in Larry Fink's category, you know, you can't continue to make billions of dollars without the pension funds, who are all, you know, public employee pension funds. They're all part of the system. And so you're really vested in this for financial reasons. And the third and most obvious part of this coalition is an entire social class, upper middle class, mostly white, urban people who have jobs that are basically going away because they're not necessary.
Just imagine that. They have fought technology. They've put, you know, paywalls up on their websites as if somebody wants to pay to read some crappy article. That's how you decided you were going to basically exist, is get people to pay before they even can see anything. You can't even do that at a restaurant. If I'm going to order something to eat, I'm going to get the food first. You go to some of these newspapers and it's like, nope, you can't. What's back there? Pay us first. It's obsolete. And that's why he had a little chuckle, like, you guys don't even know what's coming.
It'd be the entire NGO sector, the education sector, all the soft jobs, the marketing jobs. that our economy doesn't actually need, that are in fact a drain on the economy. They're not productive in any sense. They're not creative. They don't build anything. They basically just leech off the system already in place. And these people, most of whom I don't think understand this consciously, but they know it on a gut level, these people are really threatened by any change. And by the way, change is coming in the form of AI anyway. All these people are going to be out of work. They will never make it.
That is the killer. I'm telling you right now, I don't know if you have X, if you're not signed up, but Grok is incredible. Grok is Twitter's/X's AI, and it just keeps evolving. And I know many people don't like AI. They're terrified of it. You might want to get used to it, because there's not much you can't do with that program. Forget ChatGTP. It's woke. Their computer is woke. Grok, my wife here, Robin, is a watercolor artist. And I turned her on to Grok. And she's like, well, what can I do with it? And I'm like, well, talk to it. Give it a prompt. And she's like, well, show me a watercolor of a pond with a reflection from the sun with, cherry blossoms. And she's like, oh my God. And then you can just make iteration after iteration after iteration. And she found one she liked, and now she's painting what she saw with AI. So many people are fearful of AI because they think it's going to basically be, iRobot or something. But if you know how to use it, you know what's coming. These people who write articles, you could literally go in tonight inside a Grok, and you could give it this specific prompt, and it's going to be better than any writer on any website, newspaper, whatever. You can say, give me 1,000 words. Describe what Joe Rogan did and how he endorsed Donald Trump for the presidency of the 2024 election. Give me 30 quotes what other people have said about it. Include picture links and video links. And sit back. Boom. Here's your article. You're done. Don't need writers. And that way, at that point, you could see everything you want to see. Many of you have been asking me, Barry, so what do you have planned after the Trump rallies? And I told you I'm going to be doing new stuff. And you used to need to have a bevy of producers that would help you compile news. Well, Ashley's going to work with me to basically get out there and find people to interview. But imagine this prompt I can help Ashley do. Please give me the contact information for the senators who are conservative, who are in Washington, who are up for election, per se. Boom. Please give me the contact information for the people who sell solar panels and Patriot Supply for survival foods. See, AI does all that. And what I think people don't realize is not necessarily, like I said, iRobot, as much as it's another employee. And an employee you don't have to pay. An employee that will do it all day long. I can tell that employee, I don't like that, add 200 words. All right, put it in Spanish. Okay. Now translate it to France, because I got some French people who might want to see it. And have that the entirety of what I want to say during my show right there. If I wanted to, I could say, write a script. Write it out for me, make it 15 minutes long. Script. And then I could plug it into a teleprompter and just go blah, 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 blah. That's where things are headed. And that's exactly what Tucker is talking about.
Into the class they aspire to join, which is the ruling class ever. But in all you drive through the suburbs of our cities, Washington most famously, but also New York and Philadelphia, and any city on the Eastern Seaboard or on the West Coast, and you see clusters of Kamala Harris signs. What is that? And these are, upper middle class white families. Why are they so vested in Kamala Harris? Because they understand that their membership in this class is at stake. They feel deep social anxiety, status anxiety. I know these people, you do too. You've lived around them, I have as well. And they understand that their world is collapsing. It's all going away. It's all about to be revealed as unnecessary. AI will reveal that their jobs are just unnecessary. And that includes.
Imagine that. You've worked on K Street. You've been a PR specialist. You've worked for decades basically greasing politicians and asking them that for this or for that. And your job is obsolete. Whether it be television or writing. It's done. The gig is up. You're no longer needed. You've been making $200,000-$300,000 a year pontificating. Remember, most of these people have burned their credibility completely. This woman who just put out this fake poll of Iowa, she's done. Her credibility is done. You know, I don't really see much of people who talk about polling and they're not using AI. Oh yeah. What if you just asked Grok, give me the sentiment for the last 30 days of the candidacy of Kamala Harris versus the candidacy of Donald Trump. Break that down to the last 10 days. Break that down to the last 5 days. Tell me today what the candidacy of each one looks like. Now, give me an idea who you think, based upon the data you've just pulled, who's likely to win. I don't need a pollster. I don't need some pollster who's going to make up numbers and doesn't know the difference between a D and an R. I can compile vast data. Barry, where are all these data sets coming from? You know all those posts that you see on X where everybody's sitting there talking about things and going back and forth? Yeah, it compiles all that plus. So these people who've been pushing for Kamala Harris, the reason they've been pushing for her is they want the gravy train to continue, the unnecessary gravy train. And then when they hear Trump talking to Elon about, Doge, the Department of Governmental Efficiency, they know this man, what he did when he bought Twitter. Before it became X, he walked in and said, okay, basically, what is it that you do here? And he went and he slashed 75 to 80% of the staff within like a week. Bye. You've seen a video about Javier Milei from Argentina when he starts pulling off the various departments off the wall. This isn't difficult. How much do we spend with you? What the hell do you do? Done. That's why these people are freaking all the way to the military-industrial complex. They understand that Elon and whoever else are going to start digging into the numbers, and they're going to find so much fat, and they're going to no, we're not going to do this anymore. That's what they're terrified about.
Includes lawyers and some physicians too, and that's why they are so emotional about this election. Because it's not simply about Trump, and they'll say, oh, he's orange, or he's vulgar, he's a rapist. They'll make up some justification for it. But what's really happening is their world is collapsing, and they know it's collapsing. And they're panicked, and very few of them are thoughtful enough or altruistic enough to put aside, that fact, which is to say, their future, and try to make the country better. So really, it's everybody with power against Trump and Elon.
That's because they're not interested in making the country better. They're interested in basically extending their existence. How do I keep getting these cushy salaries for doing nothing and make the government pay for it? Or i.e., make you pay for it. That's what they really want. That's why Liz Cheney and Dick Cheney and all these people are saying, oh no, not Trump. It's because, hey, he's about to cut off the gravy train. And you think to yourself, how much is enough? How much do you need to rape this country? How much money do you need to pull in every single year that where you say, you know what, I think we've done good? How much money do you have to send over to that country and that we have no idea where the money is going? What, week after week? Where is it all going? Who's getting the kickbacks? That's what they're afraid of.
That's the way I see it. If he wins, it'll be a miracle. It'll be a historical event.
If he wins, the mainstream media, I think, is over because there won't be a government to save them and bail them out, and they've lost everything. If she wins,
I know, and that's great. That is great.
I know.
Because then the people, an actual journalist about the country, will replace it, and it already has with the Joe Rogan thing.
I know.
I told Joe,
You have to wonder at this point what Roseanne Barr may even be wrong there. Because I'd like to know how many actual journalists are still in the business. Think about it. How many people actually write for the New York Times or the Washington Post? What are we talking about? A couple hundred? And these are the people we're supposed to worry about? Who can't exist on their own? Who can't go to Substack and open up their own blog or WordPress? Who can't do what we're doing right here and develop an audience? You saw what happened to Don Lemon. That must have scared a lot of people in the media. Here's a guy who was on CNN every single night. They thought he was getting hundreds and thousands of views. He goes and decides he wants to open up a YouTube channel because, hey, can't be that tough. I'm Don Lemon. I'm going to open up a YouTube channel and talk to people. Boom. Crashed and burned. Ooh, what happened? Is that, you can't do it? Or what's the problem here? Or did you never were capable of holding an audience? You just happen to have $1 million gazillion studio and you're on a certain time so people just watched you. You can't even imagine how many people will fall flat on their face when they have to do it on their own. See, that's terrifying to these people. Tucker, he's crushing. Absolutely crushing. He's made for this. He's made for developing an audience and speaking to them. Not many other people are. Megyn Kelly, made for it, doing fantastic. But you can really count on your hand or two hands the number of media celebrities who've been able to make it in the new media. So just imagine you're sitting in a studio in MSNBC and you're worried about your livelihood going out the window.
Congratulations, you killed the legacy media, and that needed to happen.
Because I don't know what this is going to look like under Donald Trump.
We're going to have to take a break. I'm being told that Megyn Kelly just announced that she is going to be speaking at Donald Trump's last rally. Megyn Kelly of blood coming out of her wherever fame.
She had to take a shot at Megyn Kelly. There was no reason for that little snarkiness. They can't even take it. They found out that Megyn Kelly was going to talk tonight with Trump in Pittsburgh, and they freaked out to the point where they had to include that little 4-second barb, Megyn Kelly, with the blood coming out of her. What does that have to do with anything? You're pissed off because Dana, she's doing it on her own. She doesn't need you anymore.
That's interesting. An interesting turn of events.
Tonight, we have something big happening, and we are going to do something that we've never done before. Over the weekend, we got an invitation that we never really expected to get, and that was from Team Trump to show up tonight in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, and for yours truly to make some remarks on the president's behalf, or really, more accurately, just to explain why I'm voting for him. And I said yes. So tonight, after the show, I'll be headed to Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, where I will appear with Trump at his last Pennsylvania rally before the vote. And I will proudly explain to that audience and beyond why I think it's absolutely essential that he win this election and that we not put Kamala Harris into the Oval Office as our president. I have all sorts of reasons that won't come as any sort of a surprise to the people listening to this show. Watch the light bulb.
Okay, so she goes on stage tonight, and I don't know if you noticed, if you guys joined me for the earlier rally in Pittsburgh, but I'm sitting back and looking while people are talking, and I'm watching question, comment, question. How many people were asking about Megyn Kelly? Did she speak already? What happened? How come she's not come up yet? I mean, it was over and over and over. You see, she's not on the air anymore on any network. But yet, people wanted to see her. They wanted to hear from her. They were asking about her constantly until she got up on stage and made her speech. How does she still have that much, for lack of a better word, fanfare when she's not even on the air anymore? That's because she built her audience. She doesn't need the media anymore. And that's why people like Dana Bash are so snarky. Because she couldn't pull an audience. Dana Bash couldn't pull anybody. So, yeah, they get snarky about it.
Go on. Over Kamala Harris's head when she realizes she has no damn plan for if there's divided government and she can't shove through her agenda. Watch.
Expanding that child tax credit, or you mentioned housing before, giving that extra money for a first home. If you can't raise corporate taxes, or if GOP takes control of the Senate, where do you get the money to do that? Do you still go forward with those plans and borrow?
Oops. Right there, she has no clue. This is what Megan was talking about. This question, you might as well have taken a Louisville Slugger and walked up and hit Kamala upside the head, because you're going to get the same response. Dead eyes, have no idea, and the most nonsensical business governmental approach you've ever heard.
Well, but we're going to have to raise corporate taxes. And
what do you mean? We have to. The woman just asked you, how are you going to do it if you don't control Congress? It just doesn't happen because you want it to happen. What's your plan if Congress doesn't go along with you? But we have to.
we're going to have to make sure that the biggest corporations and billionaires pay their fair share. That's just it. It's about paying their fair share.
I am so sick. I hope when Trump takes office, he outlaws the use of the term fair share. It's a ruse. It's just meant to piss people off and keep the nuts who are running around figuring out some way they can grab more money out of your pocket. Your fair share. I played a video, I think it was a couple nights ago, where the governor of governor of New Jersey, Phil Murphy, the guy on CNBC, was sitting back in his chair and goes, so, Phil, what's this fair share stuff? Well, I can't give you a number. Well, then how do you know it's a fair share? You guys are all touting this fair share crap, but none of you could put a price tag on it because it's not meant to be something that's defined. They just want to keep coming and grabbing more and more and more. And so Megan is absolutely right. She's an idiot.
She's an idiot. She has no idea what she's talking about.
I promise you right now, based on pure numbers alone, that if you simply execute the number of people who are diehard Republican...
Here's another guy. Used to go on Fox all the time. Fox decides they don't want him on. YouTube decides, oh, you can't come on here. You're too toxic. So what's he do? He goes over to Rumble, and boom. He's got a very popular show. There's millions and millions of views. And is a refugee from network news. Fox doesn't want him. YouTube doesn't want him. He found a home over on Rumble and became an investor in that burgeoning platform. And now he doesn't need them. Not whatsoever. Doesn't need them at all.
Voters still left in these swing states who have not shown up yet, who likely are planning on doing tomorrow. They didn't want to vote early. It's too late to argue about that. That's fine. They're patriots. They will show up tomorrow. I know that. It is a pure numbers game. If they show up, we win. It's that simple. No, yes, it is.
And I think that's what the Rogan endorsement is going to do. It's going to push a lot of young men to the polls.
They have not met their firewall numbers for early voting, the Democrats, to ensure they can win this thing. They haven't. They don't have enough left if we show up.
Philadelphia. All right, so this is Van Jones, who Trump was talking about earlier today. And you just heard what Dan Bongino said, is they don't have the bench. There's nobody there. Steve Bannon talked about it the other day. Everyone was talking about this big, huge surge that was coming. And Steve Bannon described it perfectly. If you don't remember, what Steve Bannon said is, there is no surge because those people don't exist. When I heard him say that, I went, oh my God, that makes so much sense. The midnight 3 a.m. dumps aren't real people from 2020. If you're expecting this 20 or 30 million people to all of a sudden show up because they showed up in 2020, then you're assuming that all the people in that, the graph, are real. When we know they're not. And so when he said that, I was like, oh, that makes a lot of sense. There won't be a surge because there's no people. They're ghosts. You got away with it. Nobody wanted to basically dig in. But now you're saying, hey, listen, where's this surge of people that we need to make this up? They're still talking about it today. Well, if Kamala does this tomorrow and Kamala can get this many people, I think it's going to be, very tight. It'll be neck and neck. And I'm thinking to myself, do you not realize she's not going to have that surge because those people don't exist? The reason why they're not saying that is because for them to say that, for them to own up and say that surge isn't coming, is to own up that it never happened to begin with. And that's their kiss of death. Watch tomorrow. I haven't said this to anybody, but watch tomorrow when she doesn't have that surge. And they start talking, well, the people just didn't turn out. That's what happened. No. There was no people to turn out. I feel comfortable saying that because I've seen the numbers and I don't think I'm getting myself in trouble with that. But the numbers that they're relying on that would be indicative of a turnout are based upon that huge spike that they saw at 3 a.m. And so for the media to cover this and say, oh, I think she'll do okay, we just got to get the people out. Well, the Republicans are really going to turn out. We know they're going to turn out because they're real people. We have spoken to them. I took a poll on my page, my channel. Where are these people that you expect to show up to back Kamala Harris? You're seeing it day after day. She's having to bring buses to the rallies. And I say buses, I'm talking like 60, 70 buses, 4,000 or 5,000 people. So there's people there. Not like Trump with 20,000, 100,000. No, her rallies are manufactured to make it look like there's people there. And these people are being bussed in. So if you can't get people to her rallies, where are the people going to come from for this surge? Watch tomorrow what happens. You're going to hear this over and over and over. The people didn't turn out. The people didn't show up. Because nobody on any of the networks, including Fox, will have the cojones to admit they didn't show up because they never were there to begin with. I'm probably one of the few people besides Steve Bannon who's explaining it to you. They're all riding a horse hoping it happens tomorrow. Hey, listen, the cavalry's coming. Come on, let's go. Let's get out and turn out at the polls. Except there's nobody there. That, who knows what the number was that was manufactured. If those votes weren't real people, which many of us think they weren't, where the hell you think this surge is coming from? That's the key to this election. That's why Trump released that document earlier. Those documents I showed you that showed that they were down in Pennsylvania like 400,000 with women. Down 400,000. Where are you going to make that up? Where's the extra 400,000? Oh, they're going to come out tomorrow. We got churches and everybody else talking. We're going to bring these people out. Okay. Then what happens when they don't show up? You're going to blame it on, they just didn't turn out. Nobody, not a single news person is going to say they didn't turn out because they weren't there. Listen to how Van Jones explains it.
Philadelphia is where we've got to run up a big margin. But Philly overall has been trending down, not in terms of going toward the Republicans, just people not getting out to vote.
Notice what he just said there. It's not trending towards Republican. It just is trending down because they don't want to get out to vote. Who are you charting? You're charting ghosts. You're charting people who weren't there to begin with. So that chart that's dropping is because everybody knows what you did, and now you can't manufacture those votes. So yeah, and they're not going to the Republicans because they're not people.
And so you got people out there like Pastor Carl Day, who's got a bunch of young men with him, knocking on doors, trying to get people to come out. It's a bigger, tougher fight in Philly to get that vote count up.
How are you going to do it? There's a finite amount of people. And with that finite amount of people, it doesn't matter. You think Pastor Billy is going to get 400,000 people to come out? It ain't going to happen. He's basically making a soft disclosure here and saying, yeah, he's rounding up some boys and they're knocking on some doors, trying to get people out.
And it has been in the past. That has me worried. The other thing that has me worried is that the Jewish vote in the suburban areas, Biden won the Jewish vote by 70%, 70-30 last time.
Think of that number. Biden won the Jewish vote 70-30. And now you're looking around and go, hey man, where's these Jewish people at? Maybe because they didn't exist. You guys starting to feel like, why was Barry always so confident about this? Now you're hearing it. They're freaking out. They don't know what they're supposed to do at this point. It's looking really bad because the bodies aren't there.
Some polls show Kamala at 50-50.
So she's lost 20% of the Jewish population. I think it's even more.
That is 70,000 votes we've bled away. That is the margin for victory.
They bled away. They didn't bleed away. They weren't there. And how are you going to, you can't, this is what I was telling you, they can't overcome the initial early voting surge that the Republicans have.
You got groups like Zioness, Amanda Berman out there fighting to get the Jewish vote back on board. This is a tough
Trump campaign doing ads
and
to
the
try
Trump
to,
campaign pushing the other direction. So this is it is door to door, bruised knuckles, tired legs, a lot of coffee, and I'm nervous and worried, and I'm not going to be anyway until this thing gets called.
Okay.
So that was today. So you're telling me today you got people out there in Jewish communities knocking on doors one at a time. Let that sink in. You have spent nearly $1 billion, maybe more, on ads and everything else, consultants, and you've been reduced to begging. Hello, Mrs. Silverstein, can you come vote? Hello, oh, hi, Mr. Steinberg. Oh, that's what you're doing right now? The day before the election, you're knocking on doors.
Is there anything that is making you happy about Pennsylvania?
No.
Is there anything that's making you happy about Pennsylvania? And Van Jones just let the cat out the bag. No. There's nothing that he's seeing, nothing that makes him happy about Pennsylvania. You seeing it? Anyone else bring this to you this way? Anyone else show you, what these guys actually say? That's how bad it is. That's how bad it is for Pennsylvania. She's going to get rocked.
You make me happy about Pennsylvania. You got David Urban out there causing us trouble in the rural parts of the state. Get David Urban on this show and keep him here all day, and then I'll feel better.
Just don't let him leave.
I don't want him out.
Now it's just fun. Now it's a joke. It's over.
There.
Same question to you. Is anything making you happy about Pennsylvania? Is everything making you nervous?
I just have to say, if only there's something that Kamala Harris could have done early in this campaign to help with the Jewish voters of Pennsylvania. Could it have been that the governor of Pennsylvania is a Jewish American who would have been, and a very popular one?
Just because if she picked Josh Shapiro doesn't mean every Jew is going to be voting for her.
I mean, it might have meant a whole bunch of Pennsylvania.
At this point, they're basically cracking open the liquor because it's just, they know it. If they know it, you should know it. There's nothing they can do at this point.
Voted for her. This could go down as the biggest.
Moving on.
I'm just saying. Anyway, I understand why you're nervous. Look, I think whoever wins Pennsylvania, I mean, obviously, 90+% chance are going to be the next president. And so these campaigns have pulled out all the stops there. The fact that Harris is going there a ton means I think they're nervous about it. And I I look at some of this this early voting stuff, and it's like a witch's cauldron. You can lean over and smell the vapors, and you can kind of sort of see what you want to see in it. And Republicans have some reason to believe that maybe the Democrats aren't doing quite as well with their turnout operation. But the reality is nobody knows nothing. And so for old political operatives like Van and me, that does make you nervous because of the closeness of the polling. And
see, the polling is what they're having to rely on because they cannot be honest about what's actually happening.
And just the uncertainty around all the data. And I'll be as interested as anybody on election night. So I don't know whether I'm nervous or not, because at this point, I'm not sure there's, what else can you do? What else is there to say about it? Pennsylvania is the state.
But I'll tell you, the other thing that makes me nervous is in 2016, we had a big star-studded event right on the edge of the election, and we lost the state. I don't know if I don't think people understand. Working people sometimes have to choose. Am I going to go to the big, cool concert this week and pay for babysitting for that? Or am I going to try to figure out a way to get to the polls? I don't like these big star-studded events.
And so I don't like these big star-studded events. Now you're saying that? After she spent millions with Bruce Springsteen and John Bon Jovi, which, by the way, I don't know what the hell happened to him. He can't even sing anymore. And Bruce sounded like some old man. And then Megan Thee Stallion, and then Glorilla, who came out, talked about moose knuckles, and Cardi B. You mean that stuff didn't stick? Nobody cared? Especially, imagine that. You brought these people out, and you're trying to court the Jewish community, and you bring out Megan Thee Stallion, and you bring out Glorilla, and Cardi B, and you think the Jewish community has any interest in that? Woo! Miscalculation.
Internal polls have President Trump leading in every single key battleground state. We are cautiously optimistic about a big victory tomorrow night as long as everyone turns out to vote. And we're seeing that people are turning out to vote. When you look at the early voting trends, President Trump and Republicans are leading these early voting trends in every single battleground state.
See, that's what I showed you earlier. See, she's talking about actual people turning out, and we're crushing them. Whereas they don't have actual people to make these numbers up. It's 11:45. Trump hasn't come on yet. You got to get these people to the polls between basically 8 o'clock in the morning to whenever. And you haven't been able to get them yet. And so, of course, Caroline Levitt here is like, yeah, we're feeling good.
And urban turnout is down compared to where it was in 2020. Female turnout for Kamala Harris is down compared to those that turned out early for Joe Biden in 2020 as well. So all signs point to a victory tomorrow night, but we're not taking our foot off the gas. President Trump has 4 rallies in battleground states today, and we need everyone to get out and vote.
But this group of mega donors, bigger donors.
These people now, again, seeing their life expectancies basically shorten before their eyes because of this guy, Elon Musk. And they're so short-sighted and so hypocritical, they don't even understand the idiocy what they're about to say.
Than we ever have seen. The likes of Elon Musk, who's campaigning more and harder than any business person, who might end up with an official or unofficial role in a Donald Trump administration. What do you think about all this, and what are people telling you?
We think it's friggin' fantastic. Thank you. Did you? Oh, you didn't want me. You want to talk to these people, these pissed off Democrats. Okay, what are we doing? Now, do me a favor. Imagine that instead of Elon Musk, that chick from MSNBC actually used the words George Soros. I mean, just change the name. Would you still have this conversation? Probably not.
Well, I think it's really scary territory. We have some billionaires in this country, and if you look at the top 10 donors to Donald Trump, they've given over $1 billion to him.
Just the top 5.
Yeah, I mean, and that was not counting how much more Musk has spent. Musk is in Pennsylvania. He thinks because he can do rockets and electric cars that he can figure out how to get people to vote.
I am pretty sure someone who's a rocket scientist, who's giving out checks of $1 million apiece, has figured out how he can get people to vote. Oh, by the way, he also owns X.
But he's got a hard assignment because the people he's trying to get to vote are low propensity voters. They're people that don't vote all the time. In fact, this bro thing that they've done, let's get the young men. Well, the reason they're bros is because they don't care about voting.
Wow, is she going to be surprised tomorrow? See, this was this morning. She's going to be really, really surprised that the bros, the head bro, Joe Rogan, endorsed Trump. And she thinks that, the bros don't vote. Okay.
Yeah, they're not leaving your basement. You're not going to vote.
Yeah, they're really hard to get to the voting place.
I think the pollsters are...
This guy, fantastic. I found this gem of an interview, and I went, how is nobody seeing what this guy says? I think his name is Alex Castellanos. I never see him on TV much anymore. He used to be on a lot when Bill O'Reilly was on Fox. And they asked him this question, and he gives a brilliant answer, absolutely brilliant answer.
Getting this wrong. We're all missing something because they're giving us the same poll over and over again. There isn't even statistical variation. 95% confidence level means that 5% of the time you're going to get a crappy poll. We hardly ever see that. It's like they're telling us we're watching a basketball game where every play is a jump ball.
It's neck and neck. It's anyone's game. We're just going to keep regurgitating the same data. I showed you guys that for months, that the pollsters were crap. And he's like, what are they doing? They're just showing the same stuff over and over.
Somebody's missing something. What I think they're missing is a massive shift in voter registration underneath all of this. 31 states have voter registration by party. 30 of them in the past 4 years have seen movement toward Republicans. Miami-Dade County is now voting more Republican. Iowa was +1 Republican. It's now +10. And yet we're getting these surveys that I think are off base. Somewhere, somebody is missing something. I think I'm not going to call it a wave, but I think there's a wavelet out there of Republican enthusiasm and registration. If I register to vote Republican, whether I'm switching or new, what am I going to do?
When you get Donald...
I think he nailed it. I think that's specifically what's going on with this electorate, is that they were using, as I've said many times, stale milk. The data that they were using does not apply to this election. And so for the last couple months, over and over and over, they've told anyone who will listen that it's neck and neck. It's close. It's anyone's ball game. It's within the margin of error. Because that's what they need it to be. They needed it to be within the margin of error for two reasons. One, they wanted it close enough so they could potentially take it. If they could take it, then everything would be fine. And the other reason is dollars. Meaning, I need you to watch my channel so we can keep telling you every single day that you watch in, oh man, this is nail biter. It's so close. If you told them the truth and said, hey, listen, I think it's going to be a blowout, nobody's going to watch. I've been marketing for a long time. I understand how this works. They need to have viewers. There's no way on any network, even if they know better, are they going to come out and say, yeah, this looks like an ass kicking. Yeah, it's going to be tough. I don't see how Kamala Harris can come back. I don't see how Trump could win. No, they need you to buy into the cliffhanger. You have to keep wondering, is it change? And we see it in our chat. We saw it this evening. Somebody goes, Trump's falling. His numbers are falling. And I just asked a question. Where are you seeing this? There's probably people in right now. I've heard that, this is down and that's down and blah, 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 blah. Where are you seeing it? Oh, that's right. You're watching television. You don't realize you're watching entertainment. They're not giving you the real data. And at the same time, you don't know what data is real or not. If you watch that segment with Van Jones, you didn't realize to dig into what he was saying. Oh, they all laughed, they chuckled and everything. I'm like, wait a second. So you got people knocking on Jewish people's doors, hoping that you can gain 20%? Remember he said 70-30 and like it's 50-50. So you need 20. You're trying to regain that 20% by having Pastor Fred go knock on doors of Jewish people? Oh, okay. Thank you for that. I heard it. It's not real. That's what we have to get people. But, luckily, we're there. We're at the 12th hour right now. And it is what it is. It's baked in. And I just don't see how these people can possibly come back. In addition to that, this dropped tonight. Remember I showed you J.D. Vance in New Hampshire. And I'm like, look at this crowd at J.D. Vance's rally. Well, the Libertarian Party of New Hampshire came out tonight. At what time was this? Long letter. At 8:52 p.m. And they endorsed Trump. The Libertarian Party of New Hampshire endorses Donald Trump for president. Donald Trump is officially endorsed by the Libertarian Party of New Hampshire. This was not a light decision, but we feel it's the right one for ourselves, for our children, and for the best future of a free state of New Hampshire. Trump isn't a libertarian. Nonetheless, Trump is the best candidate for libertarians. Think about that for a second. How many other libertarians are seeing what the New Hampshire libertarians just did tonight? I'm pretty sure that's going to get pushed all around. This is really, you could actually look in here and see what they said. 1, he promised to free Ross Ulbricht. 2, he stated no new wars. 3, pledged to end, actually I can read it up here, it's easier. Pledged to end importation of anti-liberty newcomers. Immigration. 4, he indicated he will appoint Elon Musk, Ron Paul, and Vivek Ramaswamy to shrink the federal government. 5, received endorsements from the greatest libertarians in America, including Thomas Massey. 6, committed to ending the Department of Education. I didn't know that was a big on the list for libertarians. Number 7, he has endorsed Bitcoin and cryptocurrency. And 8 is the big one. I want you to focus in on number 8. We've all been talking about it, and the libertarians have embraced it because that's one of the things that he has mentioned. I don't know if it's coming tonight. That's one of the reasons why I stayed up and did all this at this point, because I'm wondering tonight, is he going to say it? Because these people at this point have said that number 8, he's flirted with ending the income tax entirely. Wow. It's beginning to pick up steam. People behind the scenes are obviously talking about it. The mere fact that this man is entertaining killing income tax. The seeds are out there. People are like, He's talking about killing income tax. He's talking about doing away with income tax. And that's getting out there. That's a killer move for him. He should announce it. And then this kind of stuff is coming out from people who have moles inside of her campaign. Kamala was, this was at 9:27 p.m. tonight. Kamala was visibly upset after having a smaller than expected crowd at her rally. She spoke for 7 minutes and stormed off the stage in frustration. They're weak and we need to finish them off. If we all go out and vote, we're going to have our country back. Bingo. She got so pissed off, she only spoke for 7 minutes. 7 minutes. Trump's not even done thanking people by the time 7 minutes comes around. That's the difference. So that's why I feel comfortable. That's why I've been feeling comfortable. That's pretty much what I've been telling you guys all along. So let me just tell you this, as we're waiting for Trump, I've been going for an hour, so I'm glad I had some material to cover because he's still not there. If you want to join or register to potentially win a hoodie tomorrow or some gold or silver, then go to fanfareshop.org and go ahead and register, and we'll get you involved. You don't have to re-register if you're already in. If you've already done it once for a hoodie, don't worry about it. You're gonna be fine, and you'll be in there. In addition, I want you to go to fanfareshop.org/group. That's our private membership group over on X. It's free, 100% free. It's over 7,000 now. It's close to 7,800 patriots that are in that group, and we're all sharing content. We're all talking. It's nothing like a YouTube membership. If you are involved or have a YouTube membership, when you see what we're doing over there, you're probably going to cancel your YouTube memberships. I'm just saying. People have gone over there and go, I cannot believe the amount of stuff that we're seeing. I mean, it's literally incredible. Let me just give you, while we're waiting, a little quick tour of what's going on inside this forum. All right, so let's see. Let me pull up. I got to get there. So, all right. This is the forum. And if you get to the forum, if you notice, that's not my name. That's not my name. That's not my name there either. That's not my name. That's not my name. Basically, what I'm showing you is that the members have taken ownership of this forum, and they're in here sharing all kinds of content. They're the ones who have made this thing what it is. I had to get this hamster wheel started, and some people were kind of concerned because they couldn't figure out how you post, and now it's thriving. I mean, there's so many posts in there, and I would pretty much say most of the posts that you're going to see, you don't see anywhere else. Unless you've been used to digging on Twitter/X, you're not seeing this stuff. But they're doing it, and they're digging, and they're posting stuff, and I absolutely love what they've done. And they've basically created their own community inside of X. It's private. You have to ask to join to be approved. So there's no trolls in there. You can just go ahead and talk to other like-minded patriots. So if you'd like to join, please go ahead and just go here to fanfareshop.org/group and join 7,000 plus patriots. So we're still waiting for Trump to come on stage right now. Just to let you guys know, let me pick it up. Working with Lear Capital, I've been telling you guys for a long time to get prepared. This is a silver bar. This is a gold coin. This is a 1/4 of an ounce gold coin. So we're going to be giving away gold and silver tomorrow. Every time somebody basically announces a state, we're going to give away a hoodie, gold, or silver. All you got to do is go ahead and enter. This is going to be a good way for those of you who win to begin understanding how you can basically use gold and or silver to hedge your money. Take a listen to this. If you see what's going on in the world right now and what may happen here in America, you may want to prepare and pay attention. You know that Lear Capital is a big supporter of this show. If you want to be protected in the event that things go off the wall, I advise you to look into buying gold and silver. We are all just one catastrophic event away from the value of the American dollar plunging. Do you know what's not plunging? Gold and silver. In fact, gold hit an all-time high recently. In fact, I think it hit it again today. I'm telling you now, make sure that you have some form of your money invested in precious metals. Lear Capital will ship your gold or your silver coins directly to your house. It's not just a certificate. You can store them in your gun safe, or you can store them off-site in a 24-hour protected facility. It's totally up to you. But when things go crazy here, or across the world, the value of the American dollar is going to decline. It's inevitable, and it might not even take a war. We may do it to ourselves. And I mean, the Federal Reserve plays around with interest rates, the US dollar will likely decline in value as well. Meanwhile, you'll see gold and silver continue to rise in value. If you call Lear Capital, they will take the time to educate you and answer all of your questions about gold and silver. Just give them a call at 800-601-5430 or go to Learberry, that's me, learberry.com, to download your free de-dollarization report. You should know that Lear Capital is an American company. If you call them today, you'll be speaking with people right here in the United States. Now is the time to take action. Don't wait until after the election. That could be too late. We all want Trump to be elected, but if he isn't, or if they find a way to steal it, you'd better be prepared. Call 800-601-5430 or go to learberry.com. And when you call, ask them how you can get up to $15,000 in bonus gold with a qualifying purchase. There's absolutely no obligation to buy anything. Just free information on protecting your hard-earned dollars with gold and silver. You know, when you think about it, you're actually not buying anything. You're simply going to be exchanging dollars for gold, moving currency. Give them a call today. Tell them Barry sent you. So I want to show you guys something. A lot of people like, are you really giving out these hoodies? Yes, we're really giving out these hoodies. And we have a gentleman who was kind enough to send us a picture with the one he won. And I think he sent this to Ashley. But this is him with his Trump hoodie on. I see the leaves, so he's someplace up north where it's nice and cool. And he's got his Trump hoodie on right there. So if you want to win a Trump hoodie, or gold, or silver, don't forget to go here to fanfareshop.org and go ahead and register. As soon as you get to the page, you'll see the various fields that you have to sign up. And we are giving out these hoodies. And they're completely free. Completely free. You don't have to pay, not even shipping. Think about that. You're just going to get a nice hoodie. All right, so I've gone for an hour, and I thought I wouldn't get it all in. And I'm looking to see what's going on at the event. Trump, it's after midnight. He still has not shown up. I'm looking to see if they bring up any speakers. I see the microphone guy is out. that guy who always checks his microphone is out on stage, so we may not be too far away. Let me go ahead and take some of your comments. You guys have been waiting patiently on the final rally. I don't know what to expect tonight. This might be something really, really big. These people have been waiting since midnight. I mean, waiting till, now it's midnight. I think are they an hour behind us? Maybe it's only 11 in Grand Rapids, Michigan. I'm not sure. But the guy's up there doing all his, let me see if I can show it, but kill the music.
We have 16
I'm not sure if there's any music playing. I just killed it. But you can see the arena is packed. They're waiting for Trump to show up. Oh, the girl's in the way now. Too bad. All right. So anyway, the guy's waiting. Let's take a few comments while we're waiting for somebody to show up. Somebody says the Eagle has landed finally. Great. Barry, you're a real estate guy. Is there any way we can manage to sell California to Mexico? We can throw in Washington to sweeten the deal. Yeah, just tell Trump to go ahead and put that wall all the way around California. Leave it open on the south end, and we should be fine. Yep, it's midnight. Yes, you were an hour behind us. Okay, I got you. Let me see what's going on. Was Kamala's rally large? Didn't even tune into it. I don't know how big it was, but I do know it lasted 7 minutes. 7 minutes and she was done. In your commercial with Lear Capital, is the other coin bronze? I'm not sure. I'm not sure if they do bronze. I just deal with the gold and the silver, so I'm not really sure. Trump needs to have the IRS dissolved. I'm gonna raise my hand and agree with you on that one. And tell those 87,000 those 87,000 people, have a day. The new ones. Where is the video of Kamala going off on her staff? There is no video. You'll find the more you go on X, you'll see certain people. They've got how can I say it? Moles who are feeding them information, and the information they then go ahead and post it. I know Jack Posobiec, he always has a mole in there as well, so it's there. Why are they boarding up cities on the West Coast? Your guess is as good as mine. I mean, I don't understand why you burn up your own area. Doesn't make any sense. I was talking to Robin about that tonight, and they're like, they're boarding up in parts of Oregon and they're parts of Washington and parts of Washington, D.C., and then, kind of a shrug to us. We're like, well, that sucks. I don't care. I mean, I care. Hope no people get injured, but what's it going to solve if you guys start rioting and breaking and looting? And I don't know what. I don't know why. Don't know why. Makes no sense. Not going to change anything. You think by burning down some retail stores or breaking in and looting, you think that Trump's going to go, you know what? These people are upset. Never mind. Go ahead. Let Kamala be president. No, that ain't going to happen. It's an exercise in complete futility. Nothing will come from it. They get to act out. They get to burn shit up. Looks good on television. We don't care. But like somebody said earlier, they'll probably just go ahead and blame it on Trump or something. Whatever. They're boarding up due to the Trump hurricane. Good point. That's a good point. Portland is ground zero of Antifa. They ain't coming here. I don't know where you live, but they're not coming to Florida. They would get a very crude awakening if they came down here. I live in Lincoln City, Oregon. They're not doing that here, so it's just in Portland, I guess, where the nuts are. Yeah, it will be their excuse to loot businesses, get on television, and be crazy. Yeah, they don't care. They don't really care. Isn't Florida on the same time as Michigan? It's 12:06 here. Okay, then I guess we are. Yep, we are. Same time frame. Rioting is a Democratic playbook, a distraction, all Democratic cities. Yeah. See, here's the problem they're going to have this year. So many black people have vocally and in private have said they're voting for Trump. So you're not going to have the old race riot type stuff. That ain't going to happen because too many of them are voting for Trump. Many of the Hispanics are voting for Trump. So you're going to have who's going to be burning stuff down? Doesn't make any sense. Where's that one? I'm from Oregon. Rednecks and Antifa don't mix. Nope, not at all. That pretty much would be oil and vinegar at that point. They had I did see a thing. They had 200 people at her 7-minute rally in Scranton. So, anyone know what Vivek's ex-post mean? What did you see? Let's look at it. I didn't know anything about it. Do me a favor. What Vivek's post? I'm going to go to his homepage. Vivek Ramaswamy. Let's see here. Alright, so I can put it up so you guys can see it. Which one are we talking about? Maybe not this one. This one just went up. Two possibilities. We're in an echo chamber or Trump wins big. My guess says the latter. Okay. This is a repost. Kamala can have Oprah, Lopez, Clooney, and P. Diddy. I'll take Elon. Yes, okay. That makes complete sense. And I guess this is what is this the one you're talking about? He's on the ground and he's seeing all these people came up to him that are happy to be basically supporting Trump. That's pretty much fire. Thanks to the men and women who kept us safe this year. That's self-explanatory. So I'm not sure which of these posts you're saying. What did he mean by it? Yeah, you're going to have to explain that a little bit better because I don't see anything controversial on there. There are a lot of black people who will be voting for Trump. Yep, absolutely. You have more viewers right now than Benny Johnson. Only because it's like 12 o'clock midnight. Probably Benny's audience went to bed where we all should be. I can't believe Trump just doesn't come out and go, you know what? Thank you for showing up. It's midnight. Nothing good's happening right now. Thank you very much. I'm going to get rid of income tax. Have a good night. And call it. Wait here. How do you... I'm getting text here. So let me check this and make sure there's nothing we need to talk about. The wife's asleep. The dog's asleep. Trump just landed. Okay. SB just said 12:09 p.m. He just landed. Well, maybe what'll happen now that they know he's on the ground, I'm not sure which airport he's at. Maybe they'll start the ceremonies and get people started to the speakers so that when he gets there, he can just go right on stage. Trump must be an insomniac. At the same time, you got to imagine how much adrenaline this guy is pushing right now because he's just pumped. Trump, the Energizer. And like, you remember this morning, or was it yesterday morning? Can't even remember. But his voice was hoarse. And then he just got stronger throughout the day. Unbelievable. They're putting us on A and... Okay, you must be a cop here. It's Randy. Randy, where is that? Okay, Randy says... Randy's a law enforcement officer. And he says they're putting us on A and B shifts so we have more bodies to respond to. But no taxes on overtime, bro. I mean, I understand it's 2024. You won't have to file until April. Maybe they'll make it retroactive. After being shot, I imagine he's pissed. Yeah, that's pretty good. Pretty good. Right now they're showing his longer intro video with J.D. Vance, so maybe he's taking the stage. I received confirmation this morning that I will be able to use 3 church buses to take the people from the assisted living and nursing homes to vote tomorrow. That's awesome. Awesome, and very nice of you as well. Did you see the helicopter drill at the White House? Yeah, don't know what to make of it. Maybe it is just drills. I don't know. None of us. We don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. I'm fairly confident that Trump's going to win pretty big, but their reaction, if it's close, I could see them trying to do some crazy stuff. In fact, this idiot, this complete moron, said this today. Wait a second. Let me go ahead and find him. Where am I? I posted it earlier. Where is he? Why is it not showing up at the top of my feed? Oh, here it is. Okay. So, this moron. Breaking. Jamie Raskin says, let folks cast their votes for Trump if that's their choice, but mark my words, we won't be certifying the election. He may win, but we'll ensure he doesn't step foot in the Oval Office. Guy talks a lot of crap. I mean, an absolute lot of crap. I don't know who the hell he thinks he is. He'll end up in jail, maybe on a hunger strike or something, but damn, you ain't gonna be able. You ain't got it like that, Jamie. I'm gonna call it right now. Who's this we you're talking about? You think all these Democrats, when he stomps her tomorrow, are going to all of a sudden lay their political careers on the line to try and deal with your stunt? Oh, damn. Oh, damn. Unless he's got a body double. Oh, damn. Trump just walked out. Where'd he land? Is this at an airport? Because SV said he landed at 12:09. They didn't even bring out any speakers. This man just walked out. How the hell did that happen? I don't know. I don't know how Trump just showed up. There's no way he could have went from the airport to this venue in 4 minutes. Look, he's got a doppelganger, but he just walked out. No other speakers. I guess he understands how late it is, and he probably just said, you know what, I got it from here. Let me take it. We're going to go ahead, we're going to finish this off tonight. He's probably going to do a Reader's Digest condensed version of his speech. But, yeah, Trump's out there. That's interesting. That's very interesting. I guess, you know what, SV? Maybe that was a decoy call. And defend her still today. Hang on, more music. Yeah, that might have been a decoy call. And that could make some sense, that they said he was on the ground, and they said he just got there, and he may have got there like a half an hour ago. But look at the security wrapped around him. He's not even paying attention to him now. He's going up and talking to people. he's a man of the people. He's just gonna basically press palms and kiss baby, but he's there. So SV, maybe that is indeed what it was. Maybe it was a it might have been, as Morgan says, it might have been a decoy plane. They may have said, oh, he just landed and he's been back there for a couple hours. Because there's no way he could have just landed and been at this venue. So who knows what they're doing to keep this man safe. That indeed could have been a decoy. Or anyway, at 12:15 in the morning, it's actually Tuesday. It is already election day. And Donald Trump is taking the stage. And what if they're going to give him in trouble because he's basically campaigning on a election day? Who knows? They may complain. Let's take it from here. Let me know how the volume is, everybody. I didn't cut that, so I'm not sure who cut that. Maybe because he walked away from the mic? I don't know. We'll see. Yeah, I didn't cut that feed, and it's showing no signal, so maybe they cut it. But I'm waiting to see if the feed comes back, but got no sound. Maybe because he walked away from the microphone. Let's see if it comes. Oh, okay.
Thank you very much. This is unbelievable.
You think this man thinks he's got it in the bag? I do. Let me know how it sounds.
The last one that we're going to have to do. And doing 4 of these in one day is a little difficult, but not really, because the love in every one of them has been incredible, just like this. So it makes it a lot easier. And I want to say a very special hello to Grand Rapids. It's been a special place. Remember, 2016, we were given a 3% chance. You remember we came to Grand Rapids, I said, how the hell are we going to lose? It was just like this. And I said, how are we going to lose? We're not going to lose. And it was a 3% chance, and then we won a little place called Florida, and it went to about a 7% chance, and then it went to an 11%, and then it went to 17%, you remember, and went that way, and then it went to about a 62% chance, and they had somebody in there going totally crazy. The woman, she became she was going crazy. Not on our side, on the other side, she was going crazy. But we're in very good shape. I have to tell you, we're way up in terms of the vote. You know, the Republicans are never up like that. And I don't want to talk too much about it because I really want you to just assume that it's sort of even, and you're going to turn out tomorrow, and we're going to blow this thing away because, you know, we're leading going in by hundreds of thousands of votes, but just pretend we're tied or losing by a little bit because we want to put on a display tomorrow of unity and everything. The progress that this party has made is incredible. It's very inclusive. It's inclusive of everybody, including our great mayor right back there. That is our great mayor, and he came through for us. But I want to thank everybody, and a very special hello to Michigan. We're going to do some great things from Michigan. We're going to do great things from Michigan. We're going to bring the car business blazing back. You're not going to remember what was like. We're going to make Detroit. We're going to make Detroit greater than it ever was. Yet I've been hearing about Detroit for a long time. They've been talking about that miracle in Detroit. Well, I mean, look, we got to be honest. It hasn't happened, but it's going to happen now. It's going to happen at levels that you never dreamt possible. So for the auto workers who have been so incredible, you've been so incredible. You're going to be very happy with the things we're doing. We killed the plant, as you know, in Mexico. The biggest plant in the world was going to be built in Mexico, and I absolutely killed it. But I'd like to begin by asking a question. Are you better off now than you were 4 years ago? Because over the past 4 years, Americans have suffered one catastrophic failure, betrayal, and humiliation after another. Kamala has delivered soaring prices and true economic anguish at home, war and chaos abroad, and a nation-destroying invasion on our southern border, invasion of some of the greatest criminals in the world that are pouring into our country. And we're not going to take that. We're going to end that, like, immediately. And I happen to think it's bigger than the economy. And I think, every poll shows the economy and inflation and then the border and the horrible things that are going on. And I don't agree with it. I think we have to focus on all of it. We do it all one time. But to me, when you allow thousands of murderers into our country, to me, when you allowed the drug kingpins of the world into and terrorists into our country at levels that we've never seen before, to me, that's the bigger problem. We're going to solve it all, but that's the bigger problem. And we're going to have it taken care of very quickly. But my message to you and to all Americans tonight is very simple. We do not have to live this way. We don't have to live this way. We're not living good. 4 years, what did they do that was good? Can you name one thing? I said to a group of people, what have they done? Everything's a disaster, including nobody even knows how to. Supposing President Xi of China wanted to call to ask a little question about war or Taiwan or anything, who the hell does he call? We got a little problem in America. There's nobody to call. They'll probably end up calling me. Maybe they'll call me. But who do you call? And remember, they ripped that presidency away from Joe Biden. Say what you want. We're not fans of Joe Biden. I spent $150 million on him. We went through the convention. We never mentioned Kamala. Nobody knew who the hell she was. And all of a sudden, they picked Kamala, even though she was in last place. She came in number 13. They had 12 plus Kamala. She was considered the 13th. But then they wanted to be politically correct, so they picked Kamala. And they called her Harris, and nobody knew who Harris was. Like, call Harris. Who's Harris? Weird. It's a very nice name, but it's a strange name because nobody knows who she is as Harris, so we have to call her Kamala. But she was the least popular. She got no votes. She lost in the primaries to Joe Biden and everybody else. She was the first one out. She quit the first one, 22 people. She left. She never made it to the great state of Iowa, never made it. And now we're running against her. But she's been exposed, she's been exposed. She's a radical left lunatic who destroyed San Francisco. But we don't have to settle for weakness and incompetence and decline and decay. That's a nice word, decay. That's what's happened. That's a nice word, decay. Can you imagine? And nobody will question it because it's true. With your vote tomorrow, we can fix every single problem our country faces and lead America, indeed the world, to new heights of glory. Think of that statement, how beautiful that is. New heights of glory, that's what's going to happen. when we win the election and we're really well, look, the ball's in our hand. All we have to do is get out the vote tomorrow. You get out the vote, they can't do anything about it. We win. One of their top people just got on television. I was coming in, and they said, these are not looking good, these numbers for them. This is very troubling. At least he was honest. No, all we have to do, if we get out our people, it's over. There's nothing they can do about it. It's nice when you have that, right? You know? In other words, to make you feel a little guilty, we would only have you to blame. But we put ourselves in an unusual position. Never happened where we're leading by hundreds of thousands of votes in the early stage vote. That's never happened before. We've always been losing by sometimes millions of votes, and you know, you keep catching them on Tuesday, but Tuesday comes along and you make it, or you don't quite make it, you're a little short, and then they cheat, and it makes it a little tougher. Because when you have open borders, transgender everything, high taxes, very high taxes. They're campaigning on the fact that they're going to raise everybody's taxes. And you have men playing in women's sports. You have to cheat. Who the hell is going to approve that stuff? Who's going to approve open borders with criminals pouring into our country by the millions? No, they have to cheat. They have to cheat, and they do it very well, actually. But I think we're in very good shape. We just have to you show up, and you're going to have the biggest victory. You know what this will be? The single greatest victory, politically speaking, in the history of our country. And when we win the election, only one day from now, do you know how that sounds? I started off saying, and when we win the election 4 years from now, that was terrible. That was so depressing. When we win the election 4 years from now. Then I said 3 years and 2 years and 1 year. Then I said 6 months, and I said, ooh, that's starting to get a little close. And then I said 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 month. And then about 3 weeks ago, when we win the election in 21 days, it just seemed very far away. And now I say when we win the election tomorrow. Can you believe it? Can you believe it? Wow. And what we've done, this is a sad occasion in certain ways, because I think we did like 930 rallies from the very beginning. That's a lot of rallies. And remember, if you make one slip up, and I'm a person, as you probably noticed, I have this beautiful speech. I haven't really even gotten to it yet. One of these moments, I'll start giving you some beautiful things to listen to, and honestly, some terrible things to listen to. Terrible. What's happened, what they've done to our country is horrible. Horrible. And by the way, don't you like a president that doesn't need to use a teleprompter? Isn't there something refreshing? But I think I heard somebody say it's like 900, maybe a little more than 900 rallies. And, rarely do they ever catch me making even a little mistake. I go through rally after rally, 10, 20, 30, and then I say the wrong. They say, he's cognitively impaired. No, we're not. I'll let you know when that time happens. It could happen, but hopefully it's not going to be for a long time. He pronounced the word, he slurred the word, and I hate to go back, A lot of guys, they'll be talking and they'll make a mistake. Excuse me, let me go back. When you do that, it's over for a good speech. You can't do that. You just have to blaze through it and hope that they didn't hear the mistake. No, when Winston Churchill, who was a great speaker, he was actually a stutterer, a tremendous stutterer, and he became one of the greatest orators. But when Winston Churchill made a mistake, he didn't go, excuse me, and go back. He just blazed through it. But if I do it, they say, he's cognitively impaired. There's something wrong with him. These people are sick. Those people, look at them. Oh, that's a lot of... That's a lot of people. That's a lot of people. But this has been an incredible journey. And it's very sad in a way because, you know, we've done all these, and this is the last one. But here's the good news. All we were doing is putting ourselves in a position to win, which we can do tomorrow very easily if we show up. Just so you know, if we show up, they can't win. They can't. They mathematically can't win because they're so far behind. If you don't show up, I guess. But here's the one thing I will say. Show up anyway, but they have no enthusiasm. She had a rally today. She couldn't have had more than 100 people there. And I had all 4 stadiums were full, but she had a rally, and she was screaming, we're going to win, we're going to win. And they wouldn't follow her. They wouldn't say it. Did you see that clip? I'd like to put it up. The problem is I don't put up too many clips. I have the most beautiful clips. The problem is the press won't follow them. I had a friend a couple of weeks ago. We made these gorgeous clips, and actually gorgeous in one way, but horrible in another, showing the death of children and all the damage that they've caused with the open border. And all they have to do is take those cameras, look at all those cameras, and all they have to do is move them like an inch over and an inch up. I have oftentimes, well, not too many. I have oftentimes screens right behind me. All they have to do is just move it up 2 inches like this. And they don't do it because they're fake news. They don't want to show what's on the screen. It's so shallow. I'm having a modestly good hair day. Look at that, look. Modestly good. Not the best. I'm not thrilled, but it is what it is. No, it's great. But what I do see behind me are beautiful people, great workers, people that are proud and they love our country. That's what I really see. Nice, beautiful. So it puts us, assuming we can win tomorrow, which I think we should be able to do pretty easily. It's in our hands, right? It's in our hands. It's totally in our hands. Oh, it's today. Oh, it's today. Oh. Thank you. That's today. Wow. Can you imagine a crowd like this at like 1 o'clock or some ridiculous time in the morning? On a Monday/Tuesday, right? Think of that. What a compliment. And it is, sir, she had nobody at these rallies. That's a poll. Look, Mr. Wall, look at Mr. Wall over there, this guy. It was always my ambition to buy a suit like that and wear it one time. Well, I came in a sanitation uniform last week, and that worked out pretty good. Because Joe Biden, in one of his crazy moments, said that we were all garbage. But they've shut him down. They took the election away. They walked in and they said, you're not running anymore. You're out. Can you believe? They stole the election from a president. They stole the... Can you imagine that? They said, you're not... they use the word coup. I think it's worse than a coup in a sense, because a coup, there's a little back and forth. They said, Joe, you're out. That crazy, horrible human being, Nancy Pelosi, who cheats like hell. She sold. You know what she said last night? She said, and there's another guy, how do you explain that guy? They say, well, we'll get ready to start impeaching him. Now, how bad are people like that? They're just trouble for our country. They're bad, sick people. They took 2 impeachments and they wasted all that time and money and energy when we should be focusing on making America great again. They're horrible people. I mean, Nancy Pelosi started with nothing. She's worth $200 million. You know, she had a big position in Visa, and she sold it. And the day after she sold it, the Justice Department announced that they were under this massive investigation. You're a stock guy, right? They're under a massive investigation. So I don't know what happened, but I don't imagine the stock went up. History would tell you the stock went down. Did it go down a lot? It went down a lot. So they have this big position. She sells her stock. Hours after she sells her stock, they announce that Visa is under massive investigation. The stock goes tumbling down. She's a crooked person. She's a bad person. Evil. She's an evil, sick, crazy. Bad. Oh, no. It starts with a B, but I won't say it. I want to say it. I want to say it, but Franklin Graham said, "Sir, I love your speaking ability and I love your storytelling, but honestly, it would be even better if you wouldn't use foul language." And I don't use much, every once in a while. And it's never a real bad word. It's, it's like never bad. And so I try to adhere, but he's wrong about one thing. It is a little better when you use the foul language because there's more emphasis. No, but these are bad people. These are bad. Adam Shifty Schiff. I call him pencil neck. He's got the smallest neck I've ever seen. He's got about a 4. And he's got the biggest head. So I don't know how the neck can hold the head. He's an unattractive guy, both inside and out. And this guy can end up being a senator, but don't worry, we've been beating him for 8 years. We've been beating these people. We've been beating them. They impeach me, we win. They send me down the Records Act, and we won in Florida. We win. But we have to take a lot of time, a lot of money, which is what they want. A lot of time, a lot of money. This way we can stop the one guy we don't want to fight is Trump. We can stop him from getting the Republican nomination. And I got the Republican nomination in record time. And let's keep going, and maybe we can stop him from winning the presidency. But that's looking pretty good tomorrow, I'll tell you. They give us probably a 95. What do you think, a 95% or something like that? But don't believe it. Don't believe it. Go out and vote. Remember the story of Hillary. Just remember, that's why I told you the story. She was in bad shape when she called me up that night. And by the way, she called up and conceded, and then spent 7 years on saying how she was a good sport. Oh, she's a lovely person, Crooked Hillary. But you know what? She's smart. But she wasn't like, she lied a lot. I mean, a lot. But nobody lies like this Kamala. Kamala, he will not ever frack in Pennsylvania. My whole case is fracking, and he will open the borders immediately. No. I'm going to close the borders. However, if people want to come in, they can come in legally. They have to come in through a process. We need people. But Kamala is, this is known. She's a very low IQ person. And we don't need a low IQ individual. We've had that for 4 years. And our country's going down the drain. We're going to turn our country around. I will end inflation very quickly. You know how we're going to end it? By drilling and drilling and drill. Energy is going to bring everything down. Energy is going to bring it down. And I will stop the invasion of criminals coming across our border. I will strengthen our military. I will restore peace in the world. And I will rescue the American dream. We're going to have the American dream back soon. Together, we will begin the 4 greatest years in the history of our country, and we will launch the most extraordinary economic boom the world has ever seen. If you vote for Lion Kamala, you will have 4 more years of misery, failure, and disaster our country may never recover from. I don't believe that our country can take any more of this without just gone. I don't believe it can take any more. It's going to be, can't take this. This is abnormal abuse, abnormal abuse. And I heard somebody said the wall. I built 571 miles of wall, which is much more than I said I was going to build. And, you know, it really worked. Walls work. 2 things work. What are the 2 things? Walls and wheel. They're the only 2 things that never get obsolete, right? Walls and wheels. A wall and a wheel. It's always going to be around. Other things, they have the beautiful computers. You know, you buy a computer. Oh, this is the greatest. 2 weeks later, it's obsolete. That goes on. I don't know how people do it. We have the king of computers. We have the king of everything endorsed me, Elon Musk. And he brought that rocket ship down 2 weeks ago. I never said 22 stories. It's like a monster. You don't know, is it big or small? It's a monster. 22 stories. And you know that story. I've told it a couple of times. I love the story because I really, the best part is I'm talking to one of the most important guys in the world, and I say, wait a minute, could I just watch something? And I see something on I have the television muted, right? I'm looking at this crazy rocket, and I saw it leaving a little while before, and it was all beautiful white. Now it's absolutely burned to a crisp. You know, it goes 10,000 miles an hour. The heat is at levels that nobody can experience. So it's a little, you know, rough. It's a little rough on the paint job. And it's coming in, and I'm watching, and I'm holding this very important person, one of the most important people. But, you know, when you were the president, and now it's very possible, like maybe 95%, that you're going to be the president again, they hold. No, they hold. So I say, do you mind holding for a minute? I have to see this. And I put the phone down. That guy was holding like for an hour and a half. He never got off the phone. I wish he would have hung up. I would have felt better. Because I picked up the phone later. I said, oh, wow. Hello? Hello? He goes, hello. Anyway, but it was so exciting. So I'm watching it. And this monstrous thing is going down, right? And it's coming down. It's, first of all, it's doing all sorts of flips up in the air. I would not want to be on that sucker. I don't care how good Elon is. I said, Elon, you wouldn't get me in that ship under any circumstances. But it's coming down, it's a little rough, and now all of a sudden it starts to slow down as it gets to the ground. Then it starts to move over. And then it gets a little bit out of control, it looks like. A little out of, and the left part of the bottom is going to just rip that big gantry. That's this, you know, whatever the hell it is that holds it. And it's coming in. Oh, and I didn't know it was Elon's. I just assumed, you know, he loves this stuff. He's in a class. But it's coming in, and it's going to rip the gantry. I say, oh, this is bad. This is going to be bad. I close my eyes. All of a sudden, wow, you have this massive flame coming out of the left-hand side of the bottom. It was this big jet engine. It pushes it away, and it's coming down, and then it settles into a plate, and then those arms grab it like you grab your baby, just like you grab your little baby. And it hugged it and just put it down, and there it was. There it was. And I called Elon, I said, was that you? He said, yes. And he said, and by the way, he said this, and by the way, this is something I'd never said because I didn't even think of it before when I told this story. He said, and by the way, I'm heading up to Pennsylvania to campaign for you. That was 2 weeks ago. He's still there. Can you believe it? because he considers the election more important than rockets, more important than anything. He helped us out a lot in North Carolina and parts of Georgia where they desperately needed the Starlink. I had no idea what Starlink. They called me up. They called me up in Georgia. Elon's incredible. He has Starlink. He's got everything has to do with stars and stuff. Very complex stuff. No, he's amazing. But, sir, I know that you know Elon Musk because I read your endorsement. You know, he says the most important endorsement he'll ever make. It was such a nice thing, and he said he wants to help. And I didn't know he was going to help to this extent. He went up. He won the big case today, too. He won the case. Huh? Because I don't know, he did something that I don't know what he was doing, but he did something with lotteries. And, you know, he's in a different... He's amazing. I'm going to do lotteries and this and that and make your life fun. And he's having a good time. You know, he usually is in a lab and he's happy there. All of a sudden, he's escaped the lab and now he's out. And the public adores him. He's a great guy. The public absolutely adores him. But the man from North Carolina, great guy. You know, North Carolina was hit so hard with the water. The hurricane was essentially a massive pile of water. It was a big water hurricane, the biggest we've ever had. And they were so flooded. Areas that had never virtually seen water would turn out to be lakes. They ripped houses, trees. Everything was ripped down by the power of the tides that were going back and forth. It was terrible. And this man said, if you could ask him for help with Starlink, we cannot get it. It's very hard to get. And I called Elon, and he got it immediately for them. He got it so much that... He had it there immediately, so much that you know, they couldn't even believe it. He said, this has saved a lot of lives. They had no communication in North Carolina, which, by the way, we're leading. In fact, somebody said they picked up stakes. There's no more ads. There's no more anything. That's usually a good sign. That's usually a sign that they're not going to win. But one of the reasons they're not going to win is because FEMA did such a bad job. So FEMA, you know, we had a great FEMA, we did good, but they spent most of their money, as you know, on illegal migrants coming in. They spent so much money that they didn't have the money to take care of the people from North Carolina. But we will be there on January 20th, because on January 20th, that's when you assume it. But they pulled up stakes. Historically, when you pull up stakes and stop advertising and leave, historically you're in pretty good shape in this state. Is that correct politically? Because I haven't done this as long as some of the, as well and as long as, well, I think I've done it better, actually, because I ended up being president, so I probably, but some of our great politicians have done this for a lot longer than me. So let me ask you, all of these senators, and when you pull up stakes and leave, historically, Doug Burgum was so incredible. He really is, isn't he? Is he a class act? His wife is much better. She blows him away, right? Catherine is much better. But, Doug, when you pull up stakes and you stop advertising, doesn't that generally mean that it's over, right? It's over. Doug is cautious. He doesn't want to, he thinks it's a trick question. No, it means it's over. And I think it's over in a lot of places. I think we're going to see some incredible stuff tomorrow. But it won't matter. It won't matter as long as you go out and vote. Nothing's going to matter, because it's in our, you know the expression, the ball is in their hands, the ball is in our hands. I can't do a thing about it. And now you're going to go out there later today. And you're going to show us something, and vote for me, and I will deliver rising wages, soaring incomes, and a colossal surge of jobs. We're going to use things. What's the most beautiful word in the dictionary? We're going to create wealth, opportunity for Americans of every race, religion, color, and creed. But I have to tell you one quick story, because I'm so proud. They're going to build this great big plant. They're building it. They're going to build it. China's going to build a plant, and it's going to destroy Michigan, destroy it, destroy Detroit, Everyone's going to move out. And I heard about it through a friend of mine that builds plants. That's what he does. He builds plants. He builds them better than anybody. John, let's just call him John. And he was sitting there, and I was at the Economic Club of Detroit a couple of weeks ago. But I told John a year ago, I want to see a plant. And he said, well, I'll have to take you to Mexico. I said, I don't want to see a plant. I want to see a plant here. I want a big one. He said, we don't really do too many big ones in the United States anymore. I said, what is that all about, Mexico? He said, well, China's building some of the biggest plants anywhere in the world. They're building them in Mexico. And I said, well, I'm not happy about that. I don't want to see the damn plant in Mexico. It wouldn't look right if I'm in Mexico looking at plants. Do we agree, sir? It wouldn't look right. And so he said, all right, look, I say, forget it. Then I thought about it, and I was making the speech in Detroit, and I said, a couple of weeks before, I said, if they want to build a plant in Mexico owned by China so that they can save all of the costs associated with bringing their cars and all of the things, I'm going to put 100% tariff on every single car coming out of that plant. And if that's not enough, I'll make it 200, 300, 500, 800. I don't give a damn what it is. And they're not going to have one car made in that plant that ever crosses that border, which is right next to them. Anyway, so I see John in the audience, and I gave them that notice a little before, and it was public. And I see him, and I send my people. I say, after I speak, make sure he comes back. I want to see him backstage. So I see John. I say, John, how's that big monster plant that's going to rip apart our country, but it's going to hurt South Carolina, Tennessee, and all the other places that do a lot of cars. It's going to hurt everybody. It's going to hurt the country. How is that plant doing? He said, sir, they've given it up because they think you're going to win, and they think you're going to tariff them, and they think they're going to lose their share. And sir, they've given up that plant. It's not going to be built anymore. So I saved Michigan and I saved Detroit, and we're going to let them build that plant. But you know where we want them to build it? Right here we want them to build it. And then they won't have any tariffs to pay. They won't have any tariffs, and they're going to use you to operate that big sucker, and they can build as big as they want with no tariffs. I said, let them know we'd love to have their investment. They're going to build it right here in Detroit, or at a minimum, they're going to build it someplace in the United States, and they won't have any problems. So so I saved Detroit and Michigan a lot. That alone, and I did that without even being president. How about that? They said he's going to win. They told John, we think Trump is going to win, and he's not going to let us make anything, and he's going to do things that we don't know. This guy is crazy. Because, you know, I charged China hundreds of billions of dollars in taxes and tariffs. They paid us, not one other president. And, you know, we're going to get along great with China. We're going to get along good. I want to get along with them. President Xi was great until COVID came. Then I wasn't so thrilled with him. But we did a great job in that. You know, we went back. Nobody knew what the hell it was. We did a great job. We get credit on our military. No wars. We did no wars. I had no wars. Remember when crooked Hillary Clinton? Remember when crooked Hillary was screaming during a debate, he's going to charge wars, he's going to have wars, he's going to prosecute wars all over the place. Look at him, he's a very volatile person. I'm actually not. I'm a very calm person. She's the one that's volatile. But he's a very volatile person. No, I stopped the wars with my being volatile. Nobody had a war. We didn't have any wars, except that we finished a war that we had. We beat ISIS. 100% of the ISIS caliphate was taken down. And it was done in a matter of weeks. When our stupid generals, our terrible generals, the guys up top, like Milley, like Kelly, real losers. Kelly was dumb as a rock. I'll never do that again. I say, give me a letter of resignation. Yes, sir, I'd like to say. I said, just give me. You know, Biden never fired anybody. That's why he never had a bad book written about him. No, and also, number two, nobody cared. When I fire somebody, every major publisher in the world, will you say something bad? I had one person who was so complimentary. Sir, you're the greatest president that ever lived, blah, blah, blah. Then she gets a show, but they only want to hire her if she's, I have all these letters, there's never been a better president. She goes in the show, I didn't like him, he was terrible. What a terrible human being. These people are sick, but you know what? All we can do is keep winning. That's all. Win, win, win. But a vote for Trump means your groceries, such a word I hear all the time, because I do like to mix it up with people, more so than my consultants. I think the people are much smarter than my consultants. My consultants are good, but I get much better. Like, people say groceries, right? I haven't used that. You know, it's such a sort of an old term. They say my groceries are so much more. I haven't, you know, the term is just like an old term. And it's a beautiful, but they say about my groceries were so expensive, they'll be cheaper. Your paychecks will be higher. Your streets will be safer and cleaner. Your communities will be richer. And your future as an American will be much better than it ever has been when I get in. Because this will be the golden age of America. And that's what I'm calling it. I'm telling the press. I hope you put it in. Isn't that a beautiful phrase? The golden age. I like to brand things, like I brand Pocahontas, and you know, I do a lot of branding. I'm one of the greatest branders in the world. A lot of them were Republicans, but they're all now friends of mine, so I can't talk. Some of my greatest branding was on the Republicans during the primaries, but they're all friends of mine. Most of them, some of them, yeah, most of them are. Most of them are, but you know, I don't talk about that. Once the battle is over, I take those words, I put them away permanently in some cases. On occasion, I'll bring them back out. But just a few months ago, in a beautiful field in Pennsylvania, an assassin tried to stop our great movement, greatest movement in history. But that brush with death did not stop us by any means. It only made us more determined to finish the job that we had only just started. That was not a pleasant day, I will tell you. That was not a pleasant day. But many people say that God saved me in order to save America. Many people, I've seen it so many times. And with your help, we will fulfill that extraordinary mission together. We're going to fill it together. We are going to fulfill it together. It's a beautiful expression, and, you know, I think it might be true. I have sons that are here right now, Don and Eric, and they're great people. But they're really great shooters. They're like top-of-the-line shooters. They know so much about it. They say it was almost impossible for somebody, yeah, a miracle. It was a miracle. That's the miracle right up there, right? But I didn't realize that. But from the distance that they were, they say it was a miracle. Well, if I didn't turn to the right to look at that beautiful graph that we had up having to do with illegal immigration. So illegal immigration saved me, can you imagine? And speaking of that graph, let me see that graph. I love it so much. I love it. I love it. I hug it and kiss it every night. I take it to bed with me. My wife thinks I'm crazy. I bring it to bed with me. Look, if I don't put that up, and it's never there, it's always there or there, but usually it's on the left. So if I look to the left, I'm gone. If I looked over there, but it's like, something happened. Something happened. Something up there happened. No, but think of it. So I said, just like I did right now, the shooter's right there, right exactly 90 degrees. That crazy guy, right there. And I said, let me see the graph. I said, what the hell was that? But if I didn't turn, it goes a little, it's not good. You don't want to see that. So it was a miracle or a gift from God, maybe. Crazy. And when Don and Eric, who are really great shooters, they heard that, and then they heard the gun. They know exactly the gun. The AR-15. It's supposed to be very accurate and all that stuff. And this guy wasn't, he was at the range all the time shooting. He was supposed to be a good shooter. They said a bad shooter would hit it almost every time, a bad shooter. Don said it's the equivalent of sinking a 1-foot putt. That he put it in golf terms. I said, that's not good. Because for those that don't play golf, it's almost impossible to miss a 1-foot putt. And so it's amazing. So they were shaken up. They couldn't believe it. They actually said God did that because they didn't believe that they could. Now, it wasn't a miss. I mean, it wasn't. It ripped the hell out of it, but I consider that a miss. It ripped it up pretty good, and it was a very bloody mess. And the doctor, who was great in Butler, he said, "Sir, I want you to go with me to buy a lottery ticket because I've seen this. I've been doing this for 35 years, sir, and I've never seen anything like it. I've never seen anyone come out of it with that gun from that range." I said, he said, "I want to buy a lottery ticket with you tonight." And I said, "Well, doctor, let's not do that. Let's see if we can get this sucker stop bleeding." But he told me the ear is the bloodiest part. You get hit in the ear, something to do with cartilage. So they thought I was hit all over. I said I wasn't hit all over because I was down, and I wasn't hit all over. I said I was hit in the ear. Now get me up, get me up. They said, "Sir," and they're touching all over this place because it was so bloody. They said, "Sir, you've been hitting other." I said, "I'm telling you." It's funny, when I was, the word surreal, right? When I got to the White House, I was standing right outside and then inside the Lincoln bedroom, the bedroom of Abraham Lincoln, his wife, his son, Tad, who died actually as a very young boy, very young. It was a very rough time for them. They were suffering tremendous melancholia. They called it, they were melancholia, they called it, not depression. It's the same thing, but in those days they call it melancholia. But I was in the Lincoln bedroom, so famous, all the furniture just the way it is. And he was very tall. He was 6'6". That's like the equivalent of a Baron Trump today. Who's a lot taller than 6'6". He's a good-looking guy, but he is tall. And but he was 6'6". In those days, very unusual, but he was tall. And then you put his hat on, which was another foot, right? So he was a pretty tall guy. But the bed was very long. You could see it was elongated. But I was there, and it was like a really surreal. I was with the First Lady, who was very popular, who got the #1 book in the country. Can you believe it? Call Miranda. Go buy it. Go buy that book. Go buy that book. It's great. I was a little nervous when I started reading it. I said, this could be very bad for me. Releasing a book before the election could be very dangerous for me. But no, it's a great book, and she's a great writer, actually. She wrote a note at the convention. Remember the note she wrote? It was so well crafted that these guys right here wanted to put it as part of the platform. It was unbelievable. The book is unbelievable. So go get it for Christmas or something. But it was just, when I was in the Lincoln bedroom, it was a surreal experience. It was like an outer body, they call it, experience. And it just was like, it was something unbelievable. I said, can you believe this is where we are? And I was not a Washington person. I was only there 17 times, according to the fake news. But I think it's right. I was only there 17 times in my entire life. I wasn't, and I was a New York guy, now I'm very much a Washington guy. I know the good ones, the bad ones, people. I know the dumb ones, the smart ones. I know a lot about the people. I didn't know anything about the people. I had to rely, and we did great. We had mostly great, the trade people, the war people. We had a lot of great people. But when I was on the ground, there was no surreal experience. I knew I was shot in the ear. And I was telling Secret Service, and let me tell you, they were damn brave. I went down fast because, I looked, there was blood all over my hand. I said, This is not the normal situation. It's either the largest mosquito in history or I got hit by a bullet. And I followed my hand down, and I think people were also shouting, get down, I think it was. But I went down, and I'm telling you, I had, I guess, 7 Secret Service agents follow me. They were very brave. I'm telling you, those bullets were flying over our head. And, you can't forget that. Can't forget that. Those bullets, and I heard those bullets going. I said to somebody, how fast were they going? They gave me some mathematical number. I said, no, I want to know in miles per hour. And I think it was 3,200 miles per hour. You know, think of that. You know, a car, you're going fast at 70 or 80. These are 3,000 something. And those suckers were going over my head. There were 8 of them. Total, it was a total of 8 shots fired. And then it was a shot by a Secret Service sniper. Amazing, 1 bullet he used. But I think we also had help from one of the police snipers. He hit the stock of the gun or something, and we appreciate that very much. But it was amazing. But when I was down there, I was totally aware. I said, no, get me up, because I was speaking in front of a massive, you couldn't even see the end of it. Now, when we had the celebration honoring Corey, the firefighter, great guy, when we had that celebration, we had 101,000 people. And that's when I really got to see the real, that's where I really got to see the real Musk, because I invited him up. And he's always like in a lab. And it's almost like he was released. And I said, you have to come up here, Elon, just come up. And he looked out and he was so happy. I think he loves people. And he started doing jumping jacks and stuff behind me, right? He was so happy. I think he's going to run for office against me. I'm very concerned. No, he's great. It was great. But he was so happy. And it was a great celebration. But when I was down, there was no feeling like I had in the White House. I mean, I totally was aware of everything. But had I not made that turn, I wouldn't be with you tonight, and that would have been bad. And I hope that's right. I hope that's right. I hope that God did put me here to really save this country. Because this country's in big, big trouble. This country's in big trouble. I hope so. To every person and every citizen across this land, I am asking for the honor of your vote. I don't want your money. Most people want your money. I don't want any money. All I want you to do is go out today. Sounds a little strange. Go out today. Meaning go out in a few hours, okay? This guy's complicated because it sounds so much better when you say tomorrow when it's night, but that's okay. I want to be exactly accurate for them. But go out today and vote. And I guess 7 o'clock or whatever time it is, doesn't matter. And we're going to have the greatest victory in the history of our country. And as your president, I will fight for you every single day with every breath in my body. Together we will save this country, this great country that we love. We will defeat the corrupt system in Washington, because I'm not running against Kamala. I'm running against an evil Democrat system. These are evil people. I wasn't running against Biden either. He was stuck in a basement. I didn't even run against him. I mean, no, we're running against a very evil system, and we have to defeat that system. And America's future will be an absolutely incredible one. As we stand on the brink of rescuing our country, I want to take a moment to thank the millions of hardworking men and women who are the heart and soul of this, the greatest movement of all time. because it's you much more so than me, frankly. You're incredible people. You built this country, and you're going to save this country, but you're incredible people. You're really incredible people. And as I said in the very beginning, this isn't my campaign. This is your campaign. This is a great campaign now it's 9 years, and we've been fighting side by side every step of the way. We've been together. That's why it's not even hard. People say to me, like very successful people, how do you stand up and talk in front of these people? And it's sort of easy because they're love. It's love in these rooms. I just left Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, fly up here, and the love was the same. It's such love, and it's not hard to do. It's much harder to do when you have people screaming at you. But there's love in this room. I think there's love in the whole country. I think it's a much bigger movement than we even understand. I think we're going to end up getting numbers that are far greater than we would expect. But you've given your time, your money, and your whole heart for this cause, and your support means more than anything you can even understand. It's amazing. I love you all. You're very special. This is my last rally. Can you believe it? The rallies, these big, beautiful rallies, there's never been anything like it, and there never will be anything like it. And it just happened.
That's not me. The feed stopped. Let me see if the backup feed is working. And let's see if the backup feed. Yes, hold on.
And America will be bigger and better and bolder and richer and safer and stronger than ever before. It's going to be all of those things. The presidency requires strength, courage, and grit. That you've had enough. You can't take it anymore. You're destroying our country. You were a terrible vice president. You destroyed San Francisco. She destroyed San Francisco. And she worked, when she was Attorney General of California, she worked along with a lot of her friends out there, like Gavin Newsom, the governor, one of the worst governors in history, and destroyed the state. I mean, more people moved out than moved in last year, first time ever. That's never happened before. You're going to say, Kamala, you're horrible at your job. You don't know what you're doing. You're a low IQ individual. We want smart people. We want cunning people. We're dealing with the smartest people in the world. We don't want you negotiating nuclear deals because you don't know what the word nuclear means. Kamala, you're fired. Get the hell out of here. You're fired. Get the hell out of here. You want to ruin our country. If we win Michigan, we win the whole thing. The whole thing. Over the past 4 years, Kamala has orchestrated the most egregious betrayal that any leader in American history has ever inflicted on our people. She was given the authority to run the border by Sleepy Joe because he wanted to go to bed and he wanted to sleep. He had only one thing he wanted to do, and that's sleep. So he made her the border czar. Now she's trying to deny it. By the way, the Border Patrol 2 weeks ago gave us the strongest endorsement you've ever heard. They said he's the greatest president in history and the best president on the border by a factor of 10. And I said to them, does that mean I'm better than Abraham Lincoln and George? What? Yes, sir, you're better than both of them. I had one problem. I had one of the guys that came up, and, they all, like 10 guys, they all made speeches. He's like 36. He said, sir, you're the greatest president in my lifetime. I said, I like the first guy better. I like Lincoln and Washington better than 36 years, right? But he meant well. But you know what? In terms of the border, what we did, we built all that wall. We built an extra 200 miles. They could have flipped it up in 3 weeks. You know that. It was all built. They sold it for scrap metal for 5 cents on the dollar, so much. And that's when I realized they actually want open borders. She has violated her oath, eradicated our sovereign border, and unleashed an army of gangs and criminal migrants from prisons and jails, insane asylums and mental institutions. And these people are all coming into our country. Are you okay down there? Is somebody hurt? Oh. Is somebody hurt? Oh. I saw you looking on the floor. I thought somebody was hurt. Oh, okay. We don't want our people to be hurt, right? We don't want that. But all around the world, they come from Venezuela, they come from the Congo in Africa, not just from South America, they come from all over the world, and they're stealing countless American lives. They're killing a lot of our people, a lot, far more than anybody thought even possible. The day I take the oath of office, the migrant invasion ends and the restoration of our country begins. It begins immediately. The United States is now an occupied country. Who would have believed somebody that's running for president and perhaps will be president in less than 24 hours or... Or maybe it will take these machines that we pay so much for 2 weeks. Can you believe it? You know, if you used very highly sophisticated watermark papers, it's more sophisticated than the machines. Paper, highly sophisticated. Okay, if you used paper, and if you used voter ID, and if you had 1 day, and you, in addition to voter ID, you have a proof of the fact that you're a citizen of our country, which would be nice. You would have the results tabulated like in France. They had 37 million people. The results were tabulated at 9:30 in the evening. They had a winner, they had a loser, and they went home. And here's the other thing. I know nobody's very cost-conscious anymore. 8% would be the cost compared to the cost of these very highly complex machines. And Elon Musk told me, he probably knows more about computers than any man in the world. He said that machines don't work because they're easily violated. Now, this is the smartest guy in the world, the guy that runs rockets with computers, and saying the computers are far more important than the engines. I mean, nobody knows anything like this. But if you used paper, it's 8% the cost of the other. It's more accurate. And you don't have 12-day waits. And then what the hell's happening in the inside of those machines if you wait? We want the answer tomorrow, tonight. We want the answer tonight. They spend all this money. They spend all this money, and old-fashioned paper is much less expensive. And you know what? It's more accurate. It's much better. Something's going on with this. I mean, what the hell are they doing? But we don't want to wait 10 days, 12 days, 3 days, 2 days, or 2 hours. We want the answer tonight. So we live in an occupied country, and I will tell you, we will be an occupied country no longer. This will take these young guys, these have military type equipment, highest grade, highest level, supreme military equipment. Where the hell did they get this stuff? They've taken over large parts of Colorado. They've taken over parts of numerous states, and a lot of people don't want to talk about it because they think it's going to destroy their city or town. They're all over the place. And when they're not, those people running those towns, when they're not, they're petrified. They don't want them coming in. In one town in Ohio, as you know, they have a beautiful town of, think of this, 50,000 people, and they dumped 30,000 migrants into the town. So you have 50,000, now you have 30,000 migrants. Springfield, Ohio. It's a beautiful It's a beautiful place, gorgeous place. And now if you want to go to the hospital, you can't. If you want to get a checkup, you can't. If you want to find a doctor, you can't. If you want to get your kid into school, you can't. It's a whole different world. It can't be. We can't allow this to happen. They're destroying our country. November 5th, 2024 will be Liberation Day in America. On day one, I will launch the largest deportation program of criminals in American history. I will rescue every city and town that has been invaded and conquered. Can you believe I'm running for this great office and I'm talking about rescuing cities and towns that have been invaded and conquered? Can you imagine 10 years ago? Can you imagine 10 years ago using language like that? Or saying, we will not allow men to play in women's sport. You know, if you go back just 10 years and you move yourself forward and you heard a politician saying, we will not allow men to play in women's sports, they'll think, is this guy crazy? Of course they're not going to pay. To expedite removals of Trenday, Aragua, and other savage gangs like MS-13. Trenday is from Venezuela prison system, and they are rough. They are rough. I will invoke the Alien Enemies Act of 1798 to target and dismantle every migrant criminal network operating on American soil. And if they come back into our country, it's an automatic 10 years in jail with no possibility of parole, because we don't want them back. And I'm hereby calling for the death penalty for any migrant that kills an American citizen or a law enforcement officer. And I will ban all sanctuary cities in the United States of America. They're sanctuary for criminals. 4 years of Kamala have delivered nothing but economic hell for American workers. The workers are getting destroyed. Her inflation disaster has made life unaffordable and cost families over $30,000 in higher prices. Think of that. Who can afford that? Just days ago, we had the worst jobs report in modern history. I never wanted to be Herbert Hoover, and I'm glad these numbers are coming out now. I'll fix it, but boy, it's getting bad. 12,000 jobs were announced. Now, usually you hear 200, 250, you hear it for years and years. 12,000 jobs. And then they became frauds. It was a fraud on the country because they made up numbers. 30,000 private sector jobs were killed in a single month, and nearly 100,000 manufacturing jobs have been wiped out since just the start of the year. You don't hear these numbers from the fake news. 150,000 Americans joined the unemployment rolls in October. 150,000. These are depression-type numbers. And nearly 250,000 people dropped out of the labor force. Just think, a few months ago, they fraudulently claimed 818,000 jobs were created, when in fact there were none. They said 818,000 jobs were created in our country, which kept us, and what that did is it kept us like okay. It wasn't great, but it was like not record-shattering or anything, but it was a lie. And they thought they'd be able to get away with it until after the election, and then announce after the election that they made a mistake. These are bad people. Fortunately, there was a whistleblower who I think should be entitled to an award. Could you imagine if it were me and we lost the election and then a few days later they say that the job numbers are being revised by almost 1 million people? And now they've just revised it again. On top of the 818,000, 112,000 fake jobs were just announced. So you add that up and it's almost 1 million fraudulent jobs were announced. And nothing happens. These guys don't report about it. If I was talking about 2 jobs, it would be like front page on every newspaper. They cheated, and it's fraud. You know, when they make mistakes, they make them for 2,000, 3,000. There was never 818,000 jobs right before the election were announced, and they turned out to be a fraud. And they were going to announce the revision after the election was over. What the hell kind of an election would that have been? So I want to thank this whistleblower. Meanwhile, 100% of the net jobs created in the last year have gone to migrants. Think of that. 100%. 100% of the jobs that were created went to migrants, not to people. And I'll tell you what, your black population is being devastated by these people. They're taking all the black population jobs away. And they should announce those numbers before the election also, because frankly, what's happening there, you're going to see some bad things happen. They're taking their jobs, and the Hispanic population is going to be next. You watch. It's horrible. But if I win, it's going to be not so horrible because we'll fix it. These are depression-type numbers, and that's where we're heading if she's elected. And if she's elected, we're talking about a 1929-style depression. Under my leadership, we are quickly going to turn this economic nightmare into an economic miracle. We're going to make it a miracle. We will make America wealthy again, and we will make America affordable again. And we're just one day, meaning a half a day, sir, away from the best jobs, the biggest paychecks, and the brightest economic future the world has ever seen. But you must vote. Gotta vote. You gotta vote. Kamala's plan will impose the largest tax hike in American history. I've never heard anybody campaign. I've done this stuff for a long time, but I've been involved for a very long time supporting candidates. And candidates are always saying, we will reduce your taxes, efficiency, all this stuff. They're running on the fact that they're going to raise taxes substantially. I've never heard that. This is the craziest campaign I've ever seen. We will raise your taxes. Vote for us. Mondale, he says Mondale. I think you're right. We're going to raise your taxes. But they're going to do that on the typical family, American family. They're raising the taxes more than $3,000 a year. My plan will massively cut taxes for workers and small businesses, that we will have no tax on tips, no tax on overtime, and no tax for our great seniors on Social Security benefits. To rapidly reduce inflation, I will end Kamala's war on American energy, and we will drill, baby, drill. We're going to drill, baby, drill. And I will cut your energy prices in half within 12 months, okay? When that happens, everything's coming down. The donuts are going to come down. The food is going to come down. As we say, the groceries. I just told the story in Pittsburgh. A woman, elderly, goes to a supermarket and takes 3 apples and brings the apples to the counter, and then she realizes that the price went up yet again, and she doesn't have the money for them, and she excuses herself, she walks back to the refrigerator, puts the apple back in refrigeration, and walks back and buys the 2 apples. That shouldn't be happening in our country. That should not be happening, and we're not going to have it happen long. I will cancel Kamala's insane electric vehicle mandate. And I will make interest on car loans fully tax deductible. So how about that? The most brilliant people, is that Scott Bessent over there? Where's Scott? Scott, stand up. He said he's one of the most brilliant people on Wall Street. Do you agree, Scott, that you're one of the most brilliant people on Wall Street? Because everybody else says it. He's too shy to say it. But he's a genius. You know what his theory is? The stock market is the only sign of life, and it's only going up because everyone thinks Trump is going to win the election. And others too. I'm seeing it a lot. I think they're following your lead. But I appreciate that confidence. It's very nice. He's a brilliant guy. But so they call up and they say, brilliant guys are calling me up, and they say, where'd you come up? On a car loan, we're going to give people, we want to develop the car business in this country. In a car loan, we're going to give people the right to deduct interest, but only if the car is made in the USA. What the hell do I care if a car is going to be made in? If a car is going to be made in Japan or China or someplace else, what the hell? I don't care if they buy it. I want them to buy cars. So think of that, what that's going to do for Michigan. So if a car is made in Michigan, you get a big deduction. That's going to be somebody. So I started just with the deduction. Then I thought to myself, why should I give them a deduction to buy a car that's made in China or Japan or South Korea? Well, I don't, look, I mean, they're wonderful people. Everyone's wonderful, but I want them to be built here. So then I came in with that little extra tip, and it says, but you only get the deduction if the car is made in America. Isn't that like cool? And hopefully right here in Detroit and Michigan would be great. We're thrilled to be joined by your next senator, Mike Rogers. Mike, thank you very much. Thank you. You're doing great. This guy is doing great. He is amazing. I think I'll tell you, it's hard to beat some of these people because they lie. I heard she's another one. She's going around saying she's very close to Trump. She agrees with Donald Trump on the tariffs and the wall and this, but she never agreed until about 2 weeks ago when she was losing, right? No, she's doing, but I have about 6 of them that are doing that. They're doing that against Bernie Moreno. They got a guy running against him, Sherrod Brown. I love President Trump very much. He's great. We're leading. I'm leading, how, by like almost 20 points or something. So all of a sudden they love me. They all love me. And the day after the election, he'll be calling for my impeachment. Let's impeach him. These people are sick. But we have great members, and Mike is really a talented guy, respected all over Washington. He was very successful. And I hope he can represent you because he's going to be one of the stalwarts. He'll be a leader. Thank you very much. And also members of Congress, John Joyce, Bill Heisinger, Tim Walberg, John Molinaire. I saw you guys. Very good speech you guys made. Boy, you really were rocking them, huh? You guys, very different styles, but tremendous talents and really good. Thank you very much. They really are tremendous. You have a great bunch here. I don't say that with all states. Some states I'm not so thrilled, but that's okay. And governors, Sarah Huckabee Sanders. Where's Sarah? She's so great. She is so great, right? Proud of her. I saw her father the other day. I served on a panel with him. And I said, Mike, I think you're great. He endorsed me when I was running. She gave me a 4-page endorsement. And I think the endorsement was put out before I finished my speech. And I said, you're great. He said, well, I appreciate that, but my daughter is far greater. How about that? Is that nice? My daughter is greater, he said. And he's not a man without an ego, I will tell you, right, Sarah? But he said, my daughter is greater. That's beautiful. That's a beautiful thing that he said. He's an incredible guy. And Doug Burgum, who's become one of the real stars of the party. And Catherine, stand up. I first noticed Doug by looking at Catherine. She was riding a horse in an ad. I said, who the hell is that? But I don't look anymore. No, beauty doesn't mean a damn thing to me anymore. It doesn't mean anything, but I did notice there was a woman, and to the left there was a man riding, but I didn't notice him so much. But it was this couple. And you know the ad I'm talking about. It was beautiful. It's like the most beautiful. He looked like the Marlboro Man. Whatever happened to him? But what a combination. And he's become one of the most successful governors. What he's done with the fracking and with the oil and gas and everything has become something special. He's done a great job. Thank you both very much for being here. Appreciate it. And former Congresswoman and Democrat candidate for president who did very well. I watched her for a long time. She's a woman of incredible intelligence, but maybe more than anything else, unbelievable common sense and very, very special. She just joined the Republican Party, by the way. She was an independent for years. Tulsi Gabbard. Tulsi, thank you. Great. And a man who's very special with a great talent. He was the ambassador to Germany. And I'll never forget when I took him out, the happiest person in the world was Angela Merkel. When Rick Grinnell was taken out, this was the best day in Angela's life. He was not your typical ambassador. He was somebody who would say, this is no good, what's happening? And actually it was a love-hate. They really loved him, but they said he's a smart one. He was wise to what they were doing. Rick Grinnell, where's Rick? Thank you. Thank you, Rick. And a woman who ran a very good race. It was a hard race because, you know, she believes in things and she believes in them very strongly. And I say you always have to stick with your beliefs. It's very tough. I told her it's very tough. But she's a hell of a woman. She had a father who I knew. He was a steelman. He was in the steel business. He was thankful when I put the tariffs on because we saved the steel industry. And he was a real pro. He passed away, but he was a great guy. But he'd be very proud of his daughter. His daughter's an incredible woman. Tudor Dixon. Thank you, Tudor. Thank you. We miss your father, right? He was, what a great guy he was. And then we have a woman who drives extremely fast. She can drive a car and, you know, just very successful, won races, but she's very successful. It takes tremendous courage and strength and everything else. It takes everything. I think driving those cars at 220 and 240 miles an hour, boy, you got to be brave. Probably have to be a little bit crazy, Danica Bradrick, right? You have to be a little crazy, right? But it's Danica. Such an honor to have you involved, Danica. Such an honor. She's so smart. We were talking about, I just can't believe it how I was asking her questions on the plane over about, how do you do it? How do you do it? Because, you know, they had me in one of these cars that start the race, and I'm sitting in the car, and we're going like 60 miles less than what you travel at. And I'm saying to the driver, you okay? He was okay. But it's an honor to have you involved. You're really special, a really incredible athlete. She's an incredible athlete. And another person that was very honest and very talented and doing an incredible job, but she was extremely honest. And sometimes you can be honest and it doesn't work out, but it's actually worked out really well because she's doing phenomenally well, better than before. Sage Steele, thank you very much, sir. And Michigan Republican Party Chairman Pete Hoekstra. Now, I told Pete, I've known Pete for a long time. He was very, very successful at everything he did, and he was an ambassador. He was one of the best. And I said, Pete, you got to come in and run the party. You got to do it for me. And it was not that easy. He has a lot of options, and he came in. And I mean, I think we're going to have a great result later. But Pete came in and ran the party, and I'll tell you, it is so organized, it's so professional. I think we're going to win. I mean, I think we're going to win in Michigan. Seems to be. We can't let them forget that I stopped that big Chinese plant in Mexico, Pete. Put that on top. But no, that was the thing. Nobody else would do that. I did it without being president. They just said, but they know it's not going to be easy for them. They won't. They're going to. Let's put it this way, if they build it, they're going to lose their ass, okay? So I want to thank you, Pete. You've done incredible. And a man who I fell in love with, actually, he's an auto worker and a union guy, but he saw what was happening. He saw look, I mean, you take a look at this area and go back 50, 60 years, it's been just a downward trend. It looks like, you ever see a chart? It's like, right, Brian? It's like just a downward, like a sliding ramp. Brian Pannebecker from the Auto Workers for Trump. Brian, come up here for a second. Come here. Come here. I got to see it. I love this guy. I always wanted arms like him. He's got the biggest, meanest arms. They look like what grabs that rocket. He could grab the rocket. Tell them a little bit about what you see going on, and I tell you, he's just an incredible guy. Thank you, Brian.
Thank you, Mr. President. It's an honor to be here at your very last campaign rally. I gotta give a shout out to Scott Hagerstrom right out here. He brought me to Novi when you were holding a rally there in September of 2016. You were a candidate before you were president, and I got backstage and got to meet you, and I told you the little song about Macomb County, home of the Reagan Democrats. I said, Mr. Trump, if you come to Macomb County and ask for the Reagan Democrats' support, which is basically the UAW members, and I got a few of them here with me tonight, I said, if you come to Macomb County and ask for the Reagan Democrats' support and you get it, you might win Macomb County big enough to carry the whole state of Michigan. I said, Mr. Trump, if you win Michigan, we both know what that means. You win the White House. And that's exactly what happened. So we're going to do it again this year. The UAW represented auto workers are going to vote 65% or more for Donald Trump for president, and we're going to carry Michigan again. Thank you, brother. I love you. We all love you.
Thank you, Brian. Great guy. Great guy. And you're a great guy. I appreciate that support. I appreciate that support. Thank you very much. It's terrific. You gave us a beauty there, didn't you, huh? He's a worker. Michigan Senate Republican leader, Eric Nesbitt. Eric, thank you very much. Great job. You're doing beautiful. And Michigan House Republican leader, Matt Hall. Tremendous guy. The great Steve Witkoff, great businessman, the most generous person I know. He gives a lot of money. Every time there's a hurricane, he wants to give money, and he's just great. And Howard Lutnick, he's working along with my children and Linda McMahon, who's fantastic, and they're working on transition. But I said, don't worry about transition. Let's win this thing first. Okay, we'll work on transition. But he's one of the most respected people on Wall Street, rebuilt his firm after it was taken out of the World Trade Center by that horror show act. Long ago now, but it's still very emblazoned in all of our minds. But so Howard, thank you very much. Howard Lutnick, thank you very much. And my great children, should I have them come up real fast? Okay. Don, Eric, Tiffany, Laura, Michael, come on up here. And we have Ivanka at home, sitting home, watching every second of it. And we have Barron, my beautiful boy, Barron. Barron, he knows more about computers than anybody. I closed up his computer. He said, Dad, I'll take it 2 minutes to figure that out. And all of a sudden, the damn thing opened up. I said, Barrett, you got to turn it off. Okay, watch. I turn it off. It's no way. I put a separate code in. He's operating his computer. He's operating it 2 minutes later. So this group here, they are so committed. They didn't have to do this. I guess we all didn't have to do it, but we have to because they want to see our country be so great and so strong and so respected again. When people they're laughing at our leaders. We have a guy can't walk, he can't find the stairways. Look, there's about 6 of them up. He finishes his speech, he can't find the stairways. And she's worse than him. You see what's going on. Did you see it tonight? Screaming, we're gonna win, we're gonna win. And she's screaming, and it's like 100 people going, what the hell is wrong with her? But these people are behind me. I love them, but they are really special. They're very talented people. And every one of them. Maybe I'll ask Laura to start and say a couple of words. Could I do that? She's the chairman of the party, comes from North Carolina. I wanted her to run for the Senate. There was nobody could have beat her. But she said, you know, I have a great husband and I have beautiful kids, and I really want to focus on them for a little while because she's been working hard. And she would have been great. And I said, who do you like? And they said, Ted Budd. And I went to Ted. I said, Ted, do you like it? He said, but I'm not going to run if Laura runs. I said, well, she wants you. She likes you a lot. And he's become a great senator, but she could have. But then she becomes like the chairman along with Michael Watley. Is Michael Watley here someplace? Yes? And I wanted, the mayor of Hamtramck is here. Come here. I didn't see, I see you. This is, you got to come up here, please. This guy has been with us almost from the beginning. He is, I'm so glad we got to see you. Hi, Michael. Come here. He has been an unbelievable unifier. This is one of the greatest men in your state, and I want to just thank you. Come here, say a couple of words.
Thank you so much. Well, good morning. It's another day. I spoke earlier before you came, and I told the crowd that tomorrow, or today actually, is going to be a historic day, and we shall celebrate a historic victory today. I'm very proud that I endorsed President Trump, and I broke the wall of fear among the Arab American and Muslim Americans, and I destroyed that wall of isolation and the wall of silence and the wall of hesitance among the Arab Americans. And now, today, we had a survey that was posted among the Arab Americans in the Metro Detroit, and it shows that President Trump is leading by 76%. And Harris earlier had 3%, and the rest was for others. So we are in a mission to end that disconnect between the minorities and the Republican Party and to make it the party of inclusion. And we are in a mission, which is the priority for us today, to send President Trump back to the White House. So like I said earlier, he has done everything possible to gain your support. He told me last Friday that it was 62 days of hard work with no break and no rest, and today it's 65 days with no rest. So he has used everything possible to gain your support. Hard work, seriousness, comedy, sarcasm, everything. So how is he a threat to our democracy, as the fake news keeps saying, and the other party? So I ask you and I urge you to go out and vote tomorrow. And I think we have a big chance. I'm very optimistic that we will make history and we will win and make America great again. Thank you so much.
Great guy. He's a great man, and I'll tell you, you have hundreds of thousands of people that follow, and that could be a very big difference. The Democrats are not happy about this. This was supposed to be their vote, and they're not at all happy. But really a great young guy. He's a young guy. And wow, what a leader. So thank you very much. If we win this state, you're going to be very responsible for it, too. And I think we will. And tonight I did a thing a couple of weeks ago with a very smart guy and very special talent. He's got the #1 podcast, they say, by like 4 times. Joe Rogan. And a lot of people thought they loved that. It was 3 hours. Oh, it was so terrible because I did it. And I said, Joe, I got a rally of this size waiting for me in a very far away place. I'm going to be very late, like 2.5 hours late. But we kept talking. It went 3 hours and 15 minutes or something. And then when I got up there, it was cold, a little bitter, and everybody waited. Nobody left. And I explained to him, look, Joe is the #1 guy. He kept me late. But I'm doing it because we have to win. And not one person was unhappy. We had a great time. And I said, we're going to devote a lot more time. It was pretty late at night. It was worse than this, okay? I can tell you. But Joe Rogan just announced, and he doesn't do this at all. I don't think he's ever done it. But he just announced that he's giving me his complete and total endorsement. Could you imagine that? Wow. So, Laura, would you say a few words, please?
Are we ready to turn Michigan red today? Today is the day that we send a loud and clear message to the mainstream media, to the establishment, to Hollywood, to the swamp, that it is not them. It is we, the people, who get to choose our president. And we're choosing Donald J. Trump. I just want to say thank you. This is a very special night for our family. This has been almost a decade of doing this, and it has been my honor to be a part of this family, to be out speaking on behalf of a man who I love, not just because he's my father-in-law, but because he is going to save this country and going to save the world. Thank you, guys. God bless you. Get everybody out to vote. Thank you, Michigan.
Thank you, guys. Today, when you wake up with not very much sleep, you gotta get to the polls. You gotta bring your friends and your families and your loved ones, and we have to make it too big to rig. Guys, it's simple. It's a unique election. You've lived under both candidates. People like to pretend like it's not the Harris-Biden regime that has destroyed your American dream, our country, our economy, the entire world, and Western civilization. Well, you guys, starting right now, it's on you to reclaim what is yours, your country. It would be an honor for me, for you guys to show the same amount of resolve that this man showed on July 13th when he took a bullet to the face and came back defiant. You guys take that attitude to the polls, to your text messages to your friends. If you've early voted, drive everyone you know to the polls. That resolve is what kept us at peace. That resolve is what made trade deals. That resolve's going to save America, and it's going to put America first again, once and for all. So guys, now it's up to you. You make our country proud like he makes us proud each and every day. Let's get it done, America. Let's get it done, Michigan. Let's go. Well, good morning, Michigan. Who else could have this many people at 2 a.m.? Only Donald Trump. Guys, I've watched the hell that they put him through for the last 10 years. I mean, the fake impeachments, the dossiers, the Russia hoax, going after his Supreme Court justices,
censoring him, taking away his First Amendment right, trying to take him off the ballots in various states all across the country, raiding his home. And yet he comes out every single day and he fights and he fights and he fights. And when other candidates have packed it in for the night, you know who's standing on the stage at 2 a.m.? It's Donald Trump. America, it's time for us to pick our fighter, and it's that man right there. And I can tell you, as a son, as a family, we have never been more proud of a person in our life. I have never been more proud to stand on a stage with somebody in my life. He's the most remarkable man I know. And I promise you, I will be on the stage till the end of earth with you because I truly believe in you. And I believe what you're doing for this country and what you're doing for our children. And you are going to save democracy in the United States, and you're going to keep peace in the world. And I love you, and we're proud of you. And let's make America great again. Thank you, Michigan.
Hello. So my father has never stopped, and he will never stop working for you guys. So let's get out there. Let's vote for prosperity. Let's vote for the future that we want to have for our children and for our future generations. Thank you.
Thank you very much. They're my kids, but I'll tell you, they're very good people. They're good people. They're great people that love our country, and they're working. They don't have to do this. They don't have to do this. So in conclusion, with your vote, we are going to fire Kamala, and we're going to save America. We will cut your taxes, end inflation, slash your prices, raise your wages, and bring thousands of factories back to America and back to Michigan. And a lot of it will be using my favorite word, tariff. And one of the things I'm going to do, I'll give you this as a little insight. I just announced it in Pittsburgh. I didn't think it's become a very big story already, so. We're going to tell Mexico, you're killing tremendous numbers of our people by allowing China to send their fentanyl through your system and through your country. And we're going to give them a little period of time. But we don't want drugs coming across our border or any border. And whether it's Mexico or Canada or wherever, because they're starting now in Canada, they're starting to go up north. But whether it's Mexico or Canada, we're going to explain to them quickly that if you allow fentanyl and these drugs to come through your country, we're going to charge you large-scale tariffs on everything you send into the United States. And they're making a lot of money in the United States. They couldn't exist without us, so we're going to do that. And we're going to tell China that if you continue to send fentanyl to Mexico or any place else that comes into our country, we're going to charge you a 25% tariff on everything you sell into the United States of America. We're not going to we can't let them, and you've never heard that from anybody but me, and I've had it in my mind for a long time, but I didn't want to tell these guys about it because they'd only screw it up like they do everything else. But I say it now because now we have the election coming up in a matter of hours. And We're not going to let them destroy our country. Most of our crime, probably 60% of our crime, is caused by drugs. People that are taking drugs, they cause tremendous amounts of crime. If we didn't have that, you'd see crime rates plummet. But, you know, the sad thing is that crime is plummeting all over the world because they're sending their criminals, they're sending their gang members, they're sending their drug dealers, they're sending their mental patients from all of these institutions. They're sending them into our country, and then they're opening up. Oh, we're sending them back. Don't worry about it. They're opening up their prisons, and they're dumping their prisons, all their prison population, Venezuela. They're way down. Their crime rate went way down because they're taking all of their criminals and terrorists and all of the people that are causing all the problems. And then on top of it, they're emptying their jails out into the United States through this very stupid person's open border. I don't know what they're thinking about. But maybe they hate our country, or maybe they want to get people registered to vote. Who the hell knows? But we're not going to allow it. It's going to stop immediately, day one. We're going to build American. We're going to buy American, and we will hire American. I will end the war in Ukraine. Would have never started if I were president. You know, we got more votes. We did great in 2016. We did better in 2020. We got more votes in 2020 than any president by millions, any president in the history of our country. And because of that, I said, I'll sit back and I'll watch. And if they do a bad job, I didn't need this, let me tell you. But if they do a bad job, I'm going to run because of how well we did. And if they do a good job, I would actually prefer that they did a great job. If they did a great job, I would say that's a great thing. But, I mean, he's the worst president in the history of our country. She's the worst vice president, and she got no votes. You know, they like to say to me, that's not the democratic way to go. You know, it's just a terrible thing. It's just a terrible thing. That's what's going on in this country. But so I sat back and I watched and I saw all the horrible things that were happening, and you know what they are. And maybe the worst was what they've done with inflation, but I actually think the worst is what they've done with their border, because they're destroying our country. We're going to turn it around. We're going to change it really fast. We're going to have the greatest country we've ever had. I will stop the chaos in the Middle East. It would have never happened again. Israel would have never been attacked on October 7th. And I will prevent World War III from happening. I know all the players. And it's a very good chance that it will indeed happen. We will crush violent crime and give our police the support, protection, resources, and respect that they so dearly deserve. We will strengthen and modernize our military. They gave so much of it away to Afghanistan. It's so crazy. I rebuilt our military. We will build a missile defense shield around our country, all made in the USA, and much of it made right here. And Ronald Reagan wanted to do it many years ago, and he really was right, other than we did not have the technology. I'm glad we didn't do it, but now we can shoot a needle out of the air. We can shoot a little pin out of the air. It's incredible technology, our technology. We will rebuild our cities, including our capital in Washington, D.C., which is in terrible shape, with graffitis on the beautiful, incredible marble columns, and painting the lions and burning the American flag. What they did a month ago was terrible. But we're going to make our cities safe and clean and beautiful again. We'll work with Democrat governors and mayors. We'll probably have to, and that's okay. We will teach our children to love our country, to honor our history, and to always respect our great American flag. We will get critical race theory and transgender insanity the hell out of our schools. And we will keep men out of women's sports. I will defend religious liberty, I will restore free speech, and I will defend the right to keep and bear arms, our Second Amendment. And after years of building up foreign nations, defending foreign borders, and protecting foreign lands, we will finally be going to build up our borders, build up our country, and build up and protect our citizens. It's time. It's called America First. We're going to put America first. We put America last. They put America last. We put America first. And it doesn't mean we're into isolation. We're not. We're going to help the world, but we have to straighten ourselves out or we won't be able to help anything. And we will stop illegal immigration once and for all. We will not be invaded. We will not be occupied. We will not be overrun. We will not be conquered. We will be a free and proud nation once again, and that will take place rapidly. Everyone will prosper. Every family will thrive. And every day will be filled with the opportunity and hope, and maybe above all, the American dream will be back. It's going to come back. We're bringing it back for your children. And we're bringing it back for yourselves. But for that to happen, we must defeat Kamala Harris and stop the radical left agenda with a landslide victory that is too big to rig, too big. The silent majority is back, and tomorrow you need to get out and vote. We have a silent majority, but we're just sort of speaking up. This has shown that the level of enthusiasm is 5 times greater than their level. They have no level of enthusiasm. They don't believe in her. They know she shouldn't even be running. They are, as they say, a threat to democracy. What they've done is a threat to democracy. They stole the presidency away from a very angry man. I watched him last night. He's a very angry man. I'm convinced that he likes me more than he likes Kamala. I'm convinced. For the past 9 years, we have been fighting against the most sinister and corrupt forces on earth. With your vote in this election, you can show them once and for all that this nation does not belong to them. This nation belongs to you. It was the hard-working patriots like you who built this country, and tomorrow it is the hard-working patriots, meaning today, like you, who are going to save our country. After all we've been through, and we've been through a lot together. We've gone through these rallies. Almost everybody is here. I have people that have been to more than 300 rallies. They're here tonight. They were at the one this morning, the one tonight. They actually missed 2 of them. I can't even believe it. But these are incredible people and incredible patriots. But we stand on the verge of the 4 greatest years in American history. With your help, we will restore America's promise, and we will take back the nation that we love. We love this nation. We are one people, one family, and one glorious nation under God. We will never give in. We will never give up. We will never back down, and we will never, ever surrender. Together, we will fight, 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 and we will win, win, win. November 5th, today, will be the most important day in the history of our country. And together we will make America powerful again. We will make America wealthy again. We will make America healthy again. Bobby Kennedy Jr. We will make America strong again. We will make America proud again. We will make America safe again. And we will make America great again. I love you. I love you all. God bless you. God bless you, Michigan. God bless the United States of America. Thank you, everybody. Thank you. Great honor. Thank you.
Let's hope that man goes someplace and gets some rest. Sleep up. Maybe they're going to fly him back to Mar-a-Lago tonight so he can be home in his bed in a couple hours and then just take the entire day off. Just go ahead and rest. We've been doing stuff so long today. My wireless headset died So it's having to recharge. It didn't expect that it was going to have this kind of workload today, but nonetheless, we got through it. 4 rallies. I've never seen anything like that in my entire life. 4 rallies. I don't think anybody has ever done that. 4 rallies in one day. And we're not talking about little rallies. It wasn't like he showed up at some stump and decided, hey, listen, let me just do a couple minutes here or there. No, he gives people the full show, no matter how tired he is, no matter what time and he's dancing, no matter what's going on. So it's all, as they say, it's all over but the shouting at this point. We got to wait for the fat lady to sing today, but I just can't see how he can lose. I just don't see it. Seeing Kamala's how she acted tonight, she was all pissed off. She realized this thing has basically taken on a life of its own. Excuse me, my voice is gone at this point. Wow, got nothing left. Nothing left. This man left everything on the field. He knows this is his last rally. Now, what's really interesting is now it's time to get to work. You know, all this other stuff was just a preseason. Now you got to go win tomorrow, and then you got to get to work. You got to get to work to save America. So, guy's got so much energy. I can't even imagine being 78 years old and having this kind of energy. Now we just need him to get off the stage, go get safe, and not be hanging out. Go get some rest, get on the airplane. He's still dancing. 2 o'clock in the morning, 2:15 and 2:11. 2:11 in the morning, and Donald Trump hasn't gotten off the stage yet. He's exiting stage right. I still see him. Whew. These people stayed, I guess it's same time. There's 2 o'clock in the morning. 2 o'clock in the morning. We've never seen anything like this. Not in my lifetime, and I'm probably older than a bunch of you guys. This is phenomenal. Absolutely phenomenal. By the way, I still think he's going to do no income tax. He didn't mention it, but I think once he gets in, maybe he thought it was too dangerous. I don't know, but I still think he's going to do it. I think the guys that he's working with are going to help him get there and make that happen. So it's 2 o'clock in the morning. I'm going to see you guys in about 12 hours. I want you to get some rest. Just want to thank you from all the mods, my wife, Ashley. Thank you guys for hanging out for these 4 shows and 100 or so, 50 of them that we did beforehand. You guys helped build this channel. And I'm not going to go into any soft and sweet stuff because we're not done. We are not done. We just moved from one phase into the next phase. I absolutely appreciate everything you guys have done, all the donations, every time you've been showing up. Especially because a lot of these rallies, people have heard them before, and they still show up for support. Now we're going to move into the next phase. Next phase is we're going to do the election tomorrow. We're also going to do a prayer meeting, and then I'll do a pre-show, and then it's all news from there, which I'm sure once he gets elected, there's going to be a ton of news. So I hope you join me on that ride, but I'm not going to get all softy here because we got work to do. I appreciate every single one of you. Let's keep going. I'll take this to wherever you guys want to take it. So let me acknowledge the super chat so that we can go to bed and everybody is appreciated. Let's see here. The boring channel. Let's effing go, MAGA. Absolutely. From Ajay. Pray, rest well, and tomorrow night you're invited to the election after party. Yeah, I don't drink, but maybe I'll get some of that like fake champagne or something. Susan Cummings, Barry Best Newsman, Trump Best President. Thank you very much. Grandma Lynn, please, thumbs up. Let's do this. See, Texas 750, get some rest. Whew. We all do. We all need some rest, especially that man. That man, he fueled me just seeing what he was doing every single day. And I'm like, I remember when I first clicked the button and I saw that he was doing like 7 rallies in 3 days. I'm like, oh my God, how are we going to do this? Yeah, well, we got through it mainly because of you guys. The Fanfare Village is all here at 2 a.m. on election day. Yeah, we're all here. You guys get some rest. Let me go down here further. Anne Marie Naples. I'm working till 7 a.m. Then I'll have to vote for Trump in New Hampshire. New Hampshire, in case you guys didn't know, I posted it. That first Dixieville notch, it only has 6 votes. But in 2020, Biden got all of them. This year, they split 50-50. So you could look at that and go, oh, Trump's made a 50% gain on the Democrats. So not sure everything that it means as of right now. Where was I? Keep going. Oh, the Anne Marie. Let me go down further. Yes, poly market has readjusted because obviously at this point they put all the money that they're going to put into it, and they probably had to pull back. Susanna, Barry, just want you to know how grateful I am for bringing us together. Thousands of us who share our love for this country. Yeah, I appreciate that. You guys have built an amazing community, and I appreciate that. What an amazing election year. Thanks, Barry. God bless Trump. Love you guys. I mean, this has been so much fun. The ride it's been. All right, so we got Brian Barber. Come on, Michigan. Vote this man in, and we need him. Absolutely. And we have Blythe Barber. 2 Barbers. Wow. Thanks, Barry. Chris Cipro. Veterans for Trump. Absolutely. Alex Figueroa. Thank you, Barry. Here's the best. We're praying for you. Thank you. I need it. I need the prayers because I'm worn out. I basically saw my wife in the last couple of days. She'd throw some meat in and then leave. What's this? Save the hostages of children, and January 6 innocents. A lot of work he's got to do right away. A lot of work. Thank you, Brian, again. From Chapo, to whom much is given, much is expected. Yes, absolutely. What do we got here? From Nicholas Lamonicus. Hey, brother, thanks for showing up tonight. Hi, Barry, thanks for doing this. Having trouble getting in the group. Must be Apple. Hearing MSNBC will be spun off. Ooh, that would be interesting. That would be very interesting. I think they're making moves now before he gets in office. Where'd that go? Arizona guy. Oh, thank you very much, Arizona guy. Say goodbye to the last rally. Say hello to our new president. Thanks, everyone, for hanging together. Absolutely. RBI Sports again. You played a big part, Barry. I will vote at 7 a.m. today for the one. Great. Awesome. Chapo, down with the Democrat machine. Yeah. They should be voted into oblivion. They should never be in this position again to cause this kind of harm in America. I mean, that's what I'm really praying for. I'm hoping that we never see them have this kind of power ever again. Raquel Sandoval. Yeah, that's the right one. Trump 2024. I'm so grateful for the fight and our president. He's a beast. Yeah. Yes. I mean, he went through hell and came back the other side. Sandy M, I want to thank you, your family, and the mods for all that you do. I'm so happy you found us too. Keep coming back, please. Ron Warrens, how do I subscribe to your giveaways? Very simple. Just go here, Ron. Just go to fanfareshop.org. Just put your name in, and you will be subscribed to all the giveaways. You don't have to keep re-entering. Naomi McCormick. I wish I knew what he knows, because he's just shiny. Paint America red. Yeah, complete aura of confidence. Everything he was portraying, pure confidence. Thank you, Ron Warrens again. From Goldie. Goldie, thank you. Thank you, Barry, for giving so much of your time, getting all of us through this election. You've been amazing, along with your gorgeous wife, Robin. Thank you. I will let her know that. Next is Donald Donovan. Where'd that go? Oh, it's at the bottom. I'm only 56 years old, and this man has more energy than I could ever imagine having. And of course, cancer took a little bit out of me. Glad to hear you're healed. Thank you. Thank you for everything. Where am I? Same stuff. Oh, are these the same? No, they're different. Okay, no, they're the same. They got green dots to them. Hold on, I'm just trying to make sure I don't miss anybody. RBI Sports. No, I think I said this one. RBI Sports. Get some rest from Cruiser. Thank you very much. Yeah, I read these. Yeah, those are from before. Hold on, I'm trying to just keep this stuff in order. I don't want to miss anybody. Goldie and Donald Donovan. Yes, I read those. Okay. If I miss some, I'm tired, so I might miss some. Emily Caselli, Barry and family, thank you for bringing us the truth. Thank you. Jack Hill, Barry, you, Robin, Ashley, and the mods, I always have to include them, are all truly appreciated. Thank you very much. Dave the Patriot, drop a U.S. flag down in the comments if you're a vet. Okay. What we have here? Lioness. Thank you very much. I've been hanging out with the cool kids since this summer. Thank you very Robin, Ashley, and the Mod Squad for all of the Trump rally information. We're all worn out. Eric Smith, Barry, thank you for helping people see. Your commentaries have opened the eyes of many. I have asked to view your podcast. Thank you very much. Stephen Sterju. Watch you since July from Australia. Thank you very much, Stephen. Scotty AU Australia. Scotty AU Australians. Stand with our American brothers and sisters. Yeah, I gotta believe when Trump wins and gets inaugurated, it's gonna help a lot of other countries from what they've been going through as well. Stephen Sturgeon again. Thank you very much. Michael Smith. Thank you, Barry. God bless Trump and the super crew he has with him. Yes, I agree. MAGA Mama, are we really here? Yeah, we're here at 2 a.m. in the morning. Thanks for always bringing the best material. We appreciate your family. Thank you. Where am I here? This is To Free the Butterfly. Thank you very much. Thank you all. Thank you. Super chat from Melvin Blodgett. You, Barry, are my new Rush Limbaugh. You have been rocking the silver EIB. Rush had the gold one, creating a community that loves you and is faith-based. Yes, and we're going to honor that tomorrow as well. But thank you very much. Kerry Wood, a 20-year retired veteran, have voted for President Trump 3 times. Great. That's fantastic. Thank you. William Flanagan from Canada. Is he allowed to campaign on election day? Well, what people were telling me about the law is you can campaign until voting begins. So I know they started voting in New Hampshire, but he had started beforehand. I don't know if they want to go after him for that. Good luck. Good luck. Thank you, Carl Wood. Thank you, Phoebe. Barry, thank you for everything God is using as his vessel. I feel that sometimes. Thank you very much. Drunk Green Marine. Found Fair in August. Thanks, Barry and family. Love camaraderie. Fake pastors exposed too. Yeah. There are some fake pastors out there. All right, hold on. Barry for press secretary. No, I couldn't work that kind of stuff. Super chat from Gary Bemmer. Thank you, Barry, for your wisdom and insight while bringing these rallies. Man, thank you guys very much. Thank you, Beverly Litton. Thank you very much. And I think, nope, there's another one. The Boring Channel. MAGA since 2016. Men need to get out there and vote. I think they're going to come out now that Rogan has basically given a foot up the butt. Thank you, Judy Capel. From is this Africa? I'm not really sure. Jay-Z, Australia. Big fan from Australia. Love the show. Thank you very much. We have Dave the Patriot again. Let's hope for a huge announcement. Nah, it didn't come, but I still think it's coming. I still think it's going to happen. Lionheart Roar. Barry, you have been spectacular through this election cycle. Thank you very, very much. I will continue to push through. This election from Lady Addie. Lady Addie says, this election has felt like a huge load on my shoulders like many of you. Thanks for... Absolutely. Now go to bed. Take a deep breath. We've done everything we possibly can. I think we've made it too big to rig, and I think God knows we're in this position, and we've stayed. We've carried the torch, and we're ready. Let's just make it happen. And I think we may be done. And if I miss somebody, nope, excuse me. Sorry. This is from LML. I'd love to see a backdoor deal where Biden pardons Trump and Trump pardons Hunter. No, because the thing that Trump would have to be pardoned from, that case in New York is not federal. Remember that. That's a state case in New York. Only Kathy Hochul could do that, not the president. Madeline Mack, can Jamie Raskin threats come to be? They can try anything they want, and they'll probably try to do all kinds of crazy stuff. But like I said, if this thing is a blowout like we think it's going to be, watch his support just kind of wither. There's not going to be the kind of support there was when they were all going after him in unison. I think you're going to see some of these people fracture. I really do. Barbara Farley, thank you. I'll be here for the party. Thank you. Carla Thomas, don't forget the Amish for Trump. Oh yeah, that's another big group that's coming in that you couldn't count before. Let's see. Andrew Garcia, thank you. New Hampshire Libertarian Party endorsed Trump. That's big. And this is from Tina. Tina, thank you for being my political emotional security blanket. I'm a little bit bigger than a blanket, but yes, thank you. I understand what you're saying. Emily Caskelli, thank you. Lady Addie again. Yeah, you were made for this too, Barry. I was hooked since the New York City feed. Thank you. Smart Blonde. This is totally off topic. I love off topic stuff. Is it going to be about music? No, but every time you say Wisconsin, I think of that's where I got it from. That's exactly. We're not going to Moscow. We're going to Czechoslovakia. It's like Wisconsin. Oh wow, John Villardi, thank you. Barry, my wife and I have watched all your rallies. You and I know this is the end to an era. By you and Robin dinner on us. Thank you very much. Greatly appreciated. Stephen, you cracked me up with this Wisconsin. Stephen Witkowski, thanks for all you do, Barry. Thank you very much. This is not a super chat, but I just wanted to let you know, yeah, Grok is $16 a month with a premium subscription. Yep, exactly. And Ernest Walker, the National Guard has constructed a high fence with spikes on top to protect the White House. What are they afraid of? They're nuts. The people who they've basically whipped into a frenzy for the last year or so. Sharon O. Barry, you're truly one of the vanguards in the battle. Thank you for your generosity of spirit. You are inspiring. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you very much. Ernest Walker again. Washington State Governor has called in the National Guard for protection of his state. Man, get some popcorn. This is about to get crazy. Absolutely crazy. If these blue states are looking at rioting, then they also must know the numbers. That's scary. Edwin Menendez, I just want you to look at us and say, it's over one more time. It's been a ride, MAGA. Okay, so you want me to say that, Edwin? You want me to say it? It's over. Barring some insane posse, insane clown posse cheating, it's over. I've said it. I'll say it again. You know what's even kind of funny about that? Everybody the other day was worried about Polymarket. I said they're trying to manipulate it. They're trying to see if they can convince people, that it's not really that bad. She's going to come back. And sure enough, what did I tell you? I said it's 61-39. It bounced right back. They couldn't suppress it enough to keep it down. There are a couple people I forgot on the last show. Creative Margie and David Burgess. Thank you very much. So, everybody, get some rest. It's 2:30 in the morning. Long day ahead tomorrow. Today was a long day of work. Tomorrow is a long day of basically adrenaline. And adrenaline can really drain you. I mean, you can actually get sick from being pumped up too much because your body just puts such a taxing environment around you because you're just pumped, you're just waiting. But just remember, we may not hear anything until Friday. We may hear something about 8 or 9 o'clock tomorrow night. We don't know. But pace yourself. Maybe just step away, go touch some grass, understand that it's going to get nuts. You're going to see all kinds of stories all day. And remember, none of them know any more than you do. That's what you have to take away tomorrow. They do not have, none of the news people, not on any of the stations, do they have access to the voting machines. Well, legally they don't. So they don't know. And they're going to rely on these exit surveys where they go, hey, so how'd you vote? Oh, yeah, I voted for Kamala. So it's all bull poop. Nobody knows. They're going to create content just to create content, and so they can sell ads throughout the day when they don't know anything more than you do until the polls close. So basically, that's why we're going to pray at 6:30, and early in the day, I'm going to see what kind of crazy stuff they're saying in the news, and then at night, we'll look at the actual results. All right, everybody, get some sleep. Going to be a long day tomorrow. Need you resting. I'm going to rest. You get some rest. I know Trump's going to rest. Thanks for tuning in for 4 shows today. Can't believe that. Thank you.